Mic on. Here we are. All right. Almost forgot. I was one of these when coronavirus first started, I'd heard people talking about how the masks are actually ineffective without goggles. So I immediately bought goggles, and then I've been wearing them for the last 6 months.
Nice.
It seems like, things have maybe gone in the right direction. But here we are. Welcome. We're here with Pez-Bro, and it's a fucking honor, man, meeting you and being here. Thank you so much, dude. Fuck
yeah, awesome, man. I'm super stoked to be here.
Cool.
Heard a lot about you.
Yeah, sweet, man.
Been following each other, I'm pretty sure, for a long time now. And Bert's been telling me that you've been wanting to get my product. You've been wanting to try it. And Bert keeps asking me, hey, man, can Frank the Tank, dude, he wants some of your product. When are you going to have something? I'm just like, dude, fuck, I don't have anything fire right now, dude. It's been up and down in small batches, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So at times when I wanted to bring something to Bert to give to you, it's gone. It just moves fast. I post a couple things with just some flavors on my Instagram. I don't even have to tell people it's available. It's gone.
Yeah. Oh, I bet, dude. So I luckily got one of the half grams of blueberry muffins, and that was the most intense expression I have tasted of the blueberry muffin strain in general, or anything with that terp profile.
Yeah. So I picked that up over at Mendocino in Hopland. I've done a lot of work with Mendocino in the past. They've done so much business with me and pushing my product out all over California. So they had the cuts from Dark Heart Nursery, from Humboldt Seed Company, and Dark Heart knows what they're doing. They're able to pheno hunt really well. They know what to look for, and so I bought some of those clones from the club, and I grew those, and it was absolutely phenomenal. When Mendo Dope came to my place and they actually shot the Pez-Bro song, that's when I had that blueberry muffins growing there, and I did some flower rosin with that, and then I did some hash rosin with that as well, and that stuff came out so phenomenal. I brought some of that to Josh Heinrichs and Skill and Jaw, and those guys just absolutely loved it. Skill and Jaw doesn't even take dabs, and he tried it. I mean, so that says something. The terpene profile was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
One of my favorite strains. I'm growing it again this year. It's my third year growing that strain. Nat over at Humboldt Seed Company, man, he's produced some phenomenal stuff.
Awesome.
I got to go up to his place the other year and go tour his farm and do some pressing for him, and it was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely fun. So
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So I actually didn't know you grow as well.
Oh, absolutely. So, a lot of people don't know this. I'm not a large grower. I've been growing for 25 years, 22 years, somewhere in that time range, and I've always been small. I would love to grow a large scale, but I'm all about high quality. I'm all about the best, all organic growing from the beginning to the end every single year. I re-amend my soil every year. The last few years I've been using all Vital Organics or Vital Garden Supplies products, and I actually work for them as well. So all the years before that, pure organic. Always. And then, back in end of 2015, I was with my partner that was working with me, and we're trying to figure out what to do, man. It's like all these things are popping up in the cannabis industry, like this, like all these things that are popping off and people want them. They're like, it's a new trend or this, and so BHO was at the top of the game. Everybody was getting in on it. Everybody wanted to buy systems, and so my partner and I at the time were seriously looking into buying a BHO system, spending a couple tens of thousands of dollars and buying a whole system and running BHO. And at the time, I used to work for a company called Smart Pots. I was a sales representative for them. They are based out of Oklahoma City, and I traveled to, the States and sold Smart Pots. And so I got to see all these new inventions, all these new things that were being made for the cannabis industry, for the smokers, for the new products that came out like Rosin. And at the time, back in the very end of 2015, nobody knew what rosin was. There was only very few. And, you know, I learned about it on one of my sales trips going to Chico. One of my homies was like, dude, have you ever heard of rosin? Like, we're taking dabs of BHO. And he's like, bro, have you ever heard of rosin? I'm like, no, dude, what's rosin? He's like, dude, you can take dabs of it. It's just like BHO. It's full melt, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you want to try some? I'm like, yeah, dude. He pulls some out, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is amazing. So, at the end of my sales trip, I come back home. I'm hanging out in my garage. I've got a trim crew there. We're all trimming. And my partner at the time, it was my partner, I'm like, hey, have you heard of rosin? He's like, no, what's rosin? He's like, boom, 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 typing it up, looking it on Instagram, and finding all this stuff on, not Instagram, sorry, YouTube. And we found a few videos of people smashing with hair straighteners. And we're like, holy shit, dude, what the hell? We instantly ran down to the store and we bought 3 hair straighteners. And we glued the tops of them with pieces of wood, and we used these vices, and we ended up sticking buds in between them and smashing and cranking them down hella tight, and we just see this gold oozing out of the sides, and we're like, holy shit, oh my God, what the hell? Like, dude, let's start a brand. Wow. Let's start a brand, oh my God. And we jumped on it. And we spoke to our homie Brandon over at Mendocino Group, who's a graphic designer and does all types of stuff for me and Bird and other companies. And he came up with my gold bar logo. You know,
super badass.
And the camera's over that way. Yeah. So that's my original gold bar logo. He was like, what do you want? You know, we started thinking of all these different designs and you know, writing down all these ideas. And I'm like, hey, bro, I want a gold bar dripping with redwood trees dripping in here. And a lot of people don't see the redwood trees dripping off there. There's a lot of little hidden things in there. Not a lot, but
dude,
you know, nobody sees that. You'll
awesome.
see it inside the hat pin. You know, my other logo here with this is a fish.
Oh wow!
This is a largemouth bass.
Wow!
With my logo in it. You know, a lot of people see it. I've got it on my shirt right now that I'm wearing. I'm a huge fisherman. My last name is Lopez. That's where Pez-Bro came from.
Oh,
Pez
okay.
in Spanish means fish, pescado. It's got a lot of different meanings behind it.
Dude,
it means a lot to me behind my name.
That is awesome. Bringing that culture.
Nobody
so
knows that. I mean, there's few that know that. But people are like, why Pez? What's Pez mean? What's my last name? I'm Lopez. And they're like, oh my God. It's so awesome, funny. So anyways, Brandon over at Mendocino Group has done a lot, created my logos, created all my different logos for me, created shirts, hats, all my apparel, all my banners, my easy ups, my tablecloths, like just everything. And so from that point on, when we were hanging out with Brandon and talking to him, coming up with all these ideas, I told him about the gold bar. I want the redwood trees dripping out of there. I want, you know, a marijuana leaf on there, Mendocino County rosin. And he came up with all these ideas. And before we picked Pez-Bro, up here we had different names: Waxy Pez, Smash Bros, like all these different names, and just Pez-Bro stuck out the best. And we just kept saying it over and over and over, and it's like the Geico commercial, man. You hear that thing over and over and over, and it gets stuck in your head, dude. And so we felt like that was a good catch right there. And from that point on, we started going. Emerald Cup came up. We went to Emerald Cup. We had a booth there, not for Pez-Bro. I was working in a booth for Smart Pots, and we were right next to SC Labs. And we had just smashed a bunch of our fresh flower rosin that we brought there and showed it to SC Labs. I had some tangy and I had some other flavors that were phenomenal, super terpy. And the guys over at SC Labs were like, what is this rosin? This is all organic. What the fuck? Oh my God. Can we taste it? And we're like, yeah, we're in the non-smoking section in there. And we're blazing like a champ, just pumping up. And then we had to go hide. And then a little later, the guys come back and like, hey man, can we get some more of that? That stuff was amazing. Like, I brought this guy over from SC Labs and this guy, and it just from there on, it went off. We started doing High Times, Chalice, Emerald Cup, High Life, HempCon, events up in NorCal, you know, farmers markets, small events,
wow.
and our name just blew up. And you know, we were doing the farmers markets out in Laytonville, and nobody had rosin. Nobody knew what rosin was, and I came in there strong with a full booth, fully decked out, tablecloths just fully branded out like no other. And all these BHO guys that I'm not going to mention names, they're all big guys now and everybody knows who they are, but they were coming to my booth. They were looking at my rosin. What is this? What is this? Now what are they all doing? They're all making rosin.
Yeah, totally.
You know? So it just blew up from there. It blew up. Me being a sales rep, I was traveling all over the States. I was able to give my product away to people. I wanted people to try it before they spend money. I gave it away. Here, man, try this. This is brand new. This is never heard of rosin, and people are just like, oh my god. And next time around, it's just coming in.
Wow.
So, and then we started doing all the events. And then we went to, we started seeing that a lot of these events, a lot of them are biased. They're super biased. And, we started doing hemp cons. HempCon's third-party judging, which was not affiliated with the HempCon, and we felt it was really fair. And we started going to those competitions, and we started cleaning house. Started wiping out all the competitions, and we ended up, in 2017, we took the big trophy, the finals. So it's like a series, so we took for all of 2017 best rosin, wiped out the house, cleaned everybody out. We got connoisseur trophies, choice connoisseur trophy beats first place. It wipes out the whole entire house that was there. 3,000 booths that were all there.
Whoa.
And that includes BHO, CO2, any other non-solventlesses or any solventless that was there, just wiped them all out. And that was amazing. So for us, that was a huge highlight in our path.
Dude, that is amazing.
So,
wow.
A little bit of background about us.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in Mendocino County.
Fuck yeah.
Lived there my whole life. Have no needs or wants to move anywhere else.
Totally.
I love the culture. I was born in the culture of cannabis. My pops was growing weed when I was a little kid, and I remember when I was, 6th to 7th grade. My dad was out back, and I'm like, "What are you doing back here, Dad?" And he's like, "Shh, growing marijuana. I can't be telling nobody about this." And it was so hush hush back then. And from that point on, I don't know if it was because he was illegal. It was something that we couldn't show people, we couldn't do. I was fascinated by it. From that point on, I tried weed, probably a year later, and loved it. Absolutely love it. I have a full-time job. I have my full Pez-Bro brand. I have a family at home.
Wow.
I'm beyond busy, like crazily busy. Like, it's insane. And those who say stoners don't get shit done, they're full of shit.
Totally. I say this the whole time.
Shit.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that if I probably wasn't smoking so much weed, I probably wouldn't have all these good thoughts or these things that makes me drive to go forward to do other things that people tell me I can't do.
Awesome,
You know
dude.
what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
It's just
Totally.
the way I am.
Totally.
If people tell me I can't do something, I'm going to strive to do it harder, just to put them in their place to tell them that you're wrong.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, man. That's a big part of my culture.
It's just the way I am, dude. It's
Absolutely.
just it's the way I see things. I treat people the way I want to be treated.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
So with my brand, I've spread tons of love, tons of knowledge, and information on just teaching. I want people to learn a good way, or at least guide them in a way that's going to teach them their own way. And I'm not saying my way is the best way or the right way. There's so many different ways to make hash, rosin, sift, grow cannabis. These are just things that I've learned from growers and friends. I've used to work at hydroponic stores. I've got a lot of respect in the industry. I've traveled all over the place. I've met tons of people, and I'm been honored and fortunate to be able to do that.
Amazing,
It's super
dude.
cool.
Fuck yeah.
So, yeah, man. Brought some fire for us to smoke today.
Sweet.
To try out. I've got
Very
some
cool.
it's all organic. I've got three flavors. I brought some Rolls Choice.
Wow.
Grown purely organic. I've got some Girl Scout cookie, which is also grown organically by another farmer, and I've got some Lion's Claw.
Cool. Oh,
So
sweet.
some Lion's Claw. That was a autoflower.
Oh wow!
Never
So it's
done any-
really, really cool. That's from Lion Rock or Hard Rock Mountain.
Absolutely, from Danny.
So we just bought, or we got autoflower from another farm that grew it from their cut. So that's really awesome. And it tastes all the different.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. So I actually
Very cool.
Yeah, I actually went to school with Danny and his older brother out in Potter Valley, and I've known them guys since I was a little kid.
Oh, awesome, dude.
And you know, he passed on some of those seeds to Brandon over at the Mendocino group, and he grew them, ran them, just finished them a couple weeks ago, and cut them all down, flash froze them real quick, and a couple days later, I washed them.
Dude,
and then,
awesome.
24 hours after that, I pressed it. Turned out phenomenal. It's got a great terpene profile. It's tasty. So we did a post on there, and Danny saw that, and he's just like, "Man, you gotta let me get some of that." I'm like, "You know it, bro. I got you."
Fuck yeah, yeah. I saw the Rolls Choice. I was like, "Woo!" I never even heard of that strain.
Yeah. So the Rolls Choice is a strain that not many people were letting it get out there. It is a Chem Dog crossed with an OG. Super pungent, very tasty. I actually brought two different Rolls Choice. They're actually from the same batch, but I two little different techs on them. One is taffied up and one is not. So let's check it out.
It's awesome, dude.
So this one right here should be not taffied. And you know, my packaging needed.
It's gorgeous.
I'm waiting on my stickers that go on top. They haven't came in.
Oh, either way, the wood looks.
So that
great.
one is the. That one. Oh, I don't know if that one's a taffy or non-taffy now.
First, there's that. Want a dab, bro?
Yeah, so that's the non-taffy. This one is the taffy tech one.
Sweet. So there'll be pictures. Sadly, the webcam doesn't get too in there, but you can see the color.
Right.
Woo! Yeah, Jesus. Wow. So this one's been taffied, and that one is basically fresh presses.
Just fresh pressed right off the press, collected
Wow.
and grammed right on up. I mean, you're welcome to open that and check out the difference.
Yeah, for sure. Wow.
It's got a unique flavor and smell.
Wow.
Pull out this lion's claw. GSC.
Wow. So here, maybe comparative to the two. There we go. So this one is fresh, and this one is wet. Wow.
And then we've got some Girl Scout cookie here as well. You know, everybody's been kind of hounding me and wanting me to switch over to glass jars.
Oh, okay.
So my packaging used to be a larger square with silicone paper in it, and I'd gram out that way and put my stickers in there. This is a Girl Scout cookie. Whew. This one's been grown by Pharmacy Bros out in Mendocino County. They've been working on this strain for over 10 years. It is absolutely phenomenal. The terpene profile, and as soon as you smell it or taste it, you're just like, oh my god, that's Girl Scout cookie.
Super gassy.
Holy crap. Very nice on that one. Any one of these you want to taste, bro, you just feel free. Pull it open. And then here is the Lion's Claw.
Oof.
This is the autoflower. Oh, again, all these strains here are grown in Mendocino County. They're purely organic.
Wow.
This is the Lion's Claw. She is gorgeous.
Wow. That's awesome. So we were really curious how autoflower like washes and stuff. So this is amazing.
Autoflower, you know, you just got to find those right autoflowers that have that terpene profile and that THC levels that you're looking for. You know, autoflowers just don't have that recognition yet. Doesn't have the reputation yet for producing phenomenal product yet, and I have been seeing some phenomenal flowers being grown out there in Mendocino County and other counties producing phenomenal autoflowers with unreal terpene profile and just man, I can't can't say enough. And again, there are autoflowers out there that just don't have it, you know. And then there's those ones that do. The people that are crossing them, that are breeding them, that are working with them year after year, finding that right one. And Heart Rock Mountain, he's got it down, dude. He's working on it. He's changing them up. He's doing some different things from what I've been told, and super excited to be able to press some of that for him. You know, again, it's this whole culture. A lot of us out there in Mendo, we've grown up with each other in small towns. We went to the same schools, and we all started smoking weed when we were young. We all were in this whole. We all grew up with it. All our parents were growing weed. Everybody's parents were, or their uncles, or their someone they knew. You know, so it just became more open, and people came out of the closets about it. People weren't so scared anymore. Same here. You know, I took a huge risk, putting my face, putting my name, doing all of this because I'm still trying to become legal. I'm looking for that person to help me out. I'm trying to find an investor. I'm trying to find something to get me up and going. I can't afford the licensing on my own. It's expensive.
Well, this is one of the biggest things that I want to talk about and I want to write about, because I feel like the industry is moving, but it's leaving behind the people that carried the weight for the years.
Well, I mean, look at the microbreweries. You got small microbrewers being able to do what they do, and they you got people that are home brewing, you know, for alcohol, and you're allowed to brew 100 gallons a year or something like that without having to have a license, without having to have a facility, without having to have whatever they're requiring. Why can't it be like that for the cannabis people? Why can't it be for the small time growers? Why can't it be for the small time concentrate producers? But it's all corporate, it's all big money, and it's all, that's what it's about. They're I don't know, controlling it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, it's heading in a direction where, I don't know, I feel like because of the way that the industry was before things went legal, and I'm from New York originally, so I see it from a different perspective. I didn't grow up here, you know, I'm still understanding it. I'm still like developing my understanding of it. But as far as I see, it's like it used to supply the rest of the country. Now all these other states are popping up to where they're growing, and it's all like indoor, and they're doing this and that and stuff. But it's going to lead in a direction where people really want the organic, the high quality, the outdoor, sun grown from Northern California, and then that is when the industry here can change to where it can accommodate all the growers and people who are doing that stuff.
Right.
Maybe. I hope, and I see that optimistically.
Absolutely. You know, I've traveled to other states, and I've seen grows, and I won't say what states or what farms or what companies, because I don't want to put anybody down as far as a name brand. That's not what I'm about. But going into some of these different states and asking them questions about organics, asking them questions about what kind of fertilizers they're using, what they're spraying, things like that, and they're like completely clueless about organics. They're all about these heavy salt products, synthetic lines, and I get it that when you're growing a couple acre farms, you know, you've got to cut your costs on some growing, but you know, there's a lot of organic fertilizers that go a long way. There's micronized fertilizers that are organic that go a long way, that save you money. And I'm not there to change their minds or to be like, no, you need to go organic. You're not doing it right. I'm not like that.
Right.
I'm learning and I'm seeing how these different states or how people are not educated on how to grow organically. It's just like with food. You know, how many years did it take for people to start waking up and realizing, damn, organic food is way more healthier for you. It's better flavor. It's better tasting.
Exactly, yeah.
Plumpier, juicier, just everything about it.
All of the above,
and they're not used with pesticides and chemicals to be grown or to kill pests and stuff like that, you know? So I used to work for a natural food store for 5 years, and I learned a lot about ingredients. I learned a lot about the foods we eat, the way things are processed. And we don't want our cannabis industry processed like that. We want to be natural. We want to be organic. We want our product being clean medicine for people that need it. You know, fuck big farm. You know, pharma. You know,
seriously, dude.
You know that's what's keeping these people down. They know our products work well, but they want that big money, big pharma.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm against that. You know, I don't even take Tylenol.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely, 100%.
You know, I mean, if I'm sick as a dog or something, and I've got to go to the doctor and they've got to give me some antibiotics, I'm gonna take them. But that's as far as I go. You know, my family, my wife, they all know. Like, I don't like going to doctors. I don't like taking medicines. I don't like getting shots. I don't like any of that stuff. I want to be pure, organic. I want my body clean. So, that's a heavy hitter for me.
Totally. No, I agree 100%. And looking at consumption, I actually had no idea coming out here. I had no idea that they were using chemicals to make concentrates, you know. So I bought dabs from the store, and I was stoked because it was my first time buying them and stuff like that, you know. And I smoking it, and it was a very rushy, very different high. I would say accelerated feeling. And I actually didn't like it, and I didn't contribute it to the dabs at first. I thought I just smoked too much of it, you know. So I tried so much, like less of it, different flavor, different strain, all this stuff, and I was like, no, you know, I just like flower. Right. But really, when I tried ice water hash for the first time, it changed my life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So another funny story, you know.
Actually, first, which one would you start with? I'll load us both a bowl.
You've never heard of the Rolls Choice?
Yes.
I want you to hit something hard.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hit either one. It's both of them. You got the buttered up one, or you got the non. That one's the non-buttered up. The buttered up one's gonna have a little bit of a stronger terpene profile. Okay. Just because it's been not whipped, but I taffy tacked it. I stretched it. I pulled it. I twisted it. So sometimes when I feel like you either do the jar tech or the taffy tacking, it tends to pull those terpenes out more, and instead of it just being naturally pulled right off the press. Scraped, grammed, stuck right there. You still get great terpene profile, everything about it, but the texture is different. The color, the clarity, everything's different. So I feel when
start here and then go to that one, maybe.
Sure. Do whatever one you want, bro.
You gonna join?
Of course, I'm gonna join. Okay. Of
cool.
course.
So I have two bowls here, and I'm curious if you tried one of these with Bird, because they had our friends make these. They're dab wands.
Yeah. So let's see. About 5 years ago, again when I'm traveling on the road with sales rep for Smart Pots, when I was out in Reading with one of my homies, he runs a store called Bare Roots out in Reading, right? And he pulls out one of these little glass rods like that, a little bit longer, and he pulls out his bong. He's like, "Hey man, you ever tried this?" I'm like, "What's that, man?" He's like, "Oh, you don't need a torch, you don't need a lighter, you don't need nothing." And so he torches that thing up, gets it red hot, and sticks a big old fat bowl in there, and we just start taking bong loads off of it. And I'm like, oh my god, yeah, that's gonna. Sometimes when it doesn't want to come off.
This is beautiful, man.
Wow. So like, you know, that's the issue I don't like with glass jars. I get it for presentation, but you sometimes have a very hard time taking your product off. It just does not want to come off.
I've actually literally never played with something so greasy, dude. Seriously, I've never played with it.
It's phenomenal.
Wow.
It's very, very tasty.
Oh my goodness.
But, so I have not taken a dab with one of those rods like that. I've hit in a lot of flour like that.
Okay, cool. Well, today's going to be a fun day. I wanted to make sure that we have a set for you, and I'm going to grab you one from the other room. Our friend makes these bowls. These are, to me, the premier way to do an on-the-go dab, or like a, you know, have a little set with you in your pocket that's not the Puffco. Yeah. You know, because I like the Puffco. It's cool. It's just for me, I want a big ass. Like, I want a fucking dab.
Nice. You got a carb cap on this or no carb cap?
Yeah,
okay,
no.
Just
these
straight hit.
Yep, traditional half pipes. They're just 3-hole bowls, so it doesn't drip down and block your pathway.
Okay.
But yeah, it doesn't have a.
Beautiful. Yeah, this will be a first for me. I actually saw Bird hitting that on your guys' video a couple weeks ago. Cool. And I was like, what are they doing? I'm like, how's he hitting that? I get it. Because I didn't see the rod in their hand, or maybe I missed that. I don't know.
So yeah, no, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on here. I actually just made that green screen shot in the side. It actually has me walking through this whole process, but this will be allowed for a second. But basically, I heat it up, and then I have a timer too. So we learned on the show actually that you can do 2 wands at the same time. Yeah. So this is the only way I see that 2 people can take a dab off of the same heat. You know, saving the butane, and then you get it at the same time. So it's like, hey, you want to try something with me? Right. And try it at the exact same time.
Absolutely.
You know? So here's the timer, and then there's one of those for you.
So am I just going to touch after the timer? I'm just going to touch it right on top of it and just let it hit.
Yeah, I'll give you a tiny walkthrough real fast right before it's about to be ready. So I time it so that 30 seconds is up, and then we have 3 to 5 seconds to go. Once it's ready, it's not ready yet, but so I touch it like this and I twirl this,
Okay.
and then I plunge it in. So
Okay.
you can watch me first real fast. Oh man.
Mmm.
Wow.
That's nice tasting the Rolls Royce off of a small rig like that, because I'm always taking, actual dabs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like with a dab rig.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
water. So that's actually nice tasting it like that.
Yeah, we'll switch. We'll do it both ways.
The
Yeah.
flavor is a little different. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's freaking
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's nice and smooth like that. I like that.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, it's become my favorite way to go just because it's so convenient and
But
you
yeah,
can do
so-
multiple.
All these right here, I'm gonna leave these with you.
Oh, you're the
These are
fucking
for
man,
you,
dude.
bro.
Oh, holy shit.
Like I told you, I love to share with people.
Oh, you are the fucking man.
Yeah, you're gonna have a gram, 2 grams of the Rolls Choice, one of each texture, and then a Lion's Claw and a GSC there.
Whew.
Excuse me.
Oh man, you're the fucking man.
So what I was getting at earlier, I just looked at right here, honey butter rosin. So what I was getting at with the story before you started telling me about this was I was at the Laytonville show, farmers market, and I had some pineapple preserves that High Country Genetics grew that I was working with as well, and so I processed some of his. I was growing it actually as well. It was his strains, and I grew that pineapple preserves, and then I pressed it, and the terpene profile of that pineapple preserves was insane. The pineapple flavor, the taste, everything, right? So Bob, with honey butter rosin, comes up to my booth and takes a dab of my pineapple preserves, and a couple weeks later he texts me or gets a hold of me through Instagram. He's like, bro, you changed my life, dude. He's like, you absolutely changed my life. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, I took that dab of that pineapple preserves, and he's like, it just made me think of everything differently, of how what I want to do, and how I want to grow, and how I want to make concentrates. And so bam, he started making things. He came out with honey butter rosin.
Dude, holy
shit. He met up with me over in Willits, and he gave me all of his first honey butter rosin products that he made, which is completely different than his logos now. And he thanked me, and to me that felt amazing. He was the first person that came up to me and told me that. I'm like, holy shit, that felt so good that somebody came up to me and told me that I changed their life. I'm like, I didn't know how I did at first until he explained it, and it made a whole lot of sense to me. And I've had a lot of other people since then come up to me and told me that they think completely differently about dabs, about organic product, and about their medicine. So.
Dude, that's fucking phenomenal. That is the oh, here, cheers.
Cheers,
Ready,
bro.
Cheers, brother. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. That was perfect timing. We both just pulled up right at the same time. It was
Ooh.
perfect.
Dude, goddamn, that is amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, that was the whipped one.
That was the whipped one.
Woo.
So a little bit of a different profile, be a little bit stronger.
It brought the garlic out.
Yeah,
Is what I was saying.
there you
Really,
go. There you go. Brought the juice out.
Ooh.
It's awesome.
Wow. So Bird had told me that he basically he was expressing to you his passion and he was going into VHO and stuff like that, and then you were like, hey man, I know how much you care about the plants, and I only got the secondary stories, but wow, that shivers down my spine before I met you.
So yeah, that was with Bob with honey butter rosin.
Right.
And then Bird, we'd gone to. I was setting up booths at a lot of different shows for Mendo Dope. I was sponsoring a lot of Mendo Dope shows. I still do, not at the moment right now because they're not playing any shows. But I was sponsoring a lot of shows going, and I was setting up my booths. And Bird would come up to me and he was asking me questions about Rosin. He told me about a press that he had made and how he was messing around. And he was always asking me some questions, and so I would answer him for him. I didn't know Bert at the time. I knew he was, you know, part of the crew, that he hung out, and he knew Lewis and he knew all the guys, and I hadn't met him really that much, and then I got introduced to him by Lewis, and you know, Bert ended up buying a hoodie from me, probably bought some rosin from me, and he just started asking me lots of questions. And there was times where the Mendocino boys were playing a show at the local bar, and I was there as a person, not having a booth, and we'd hang out, we'd bullshit, and then we'd talk rosin, and then I introduced him to David with Terminator, and you know, him and David started talking, and a couple months later, David invited him to be on with the Terminator crew with us, and so Bird was the third person to be brand ambassador with the Terminator crew.
Badass.
And so from that point on, you know, I've helped Bird out. I've helped steer him in some of the right ways, and him as well has told people that I've helped change his ways of seeing things and how he wants to be treated, how he wants to treat people, and he is another person that said that I've helped change the way his thoughts and views, and that's been unreal.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
Super cool.
For real. For those are two people that I like look up to in this industry because of how much passion they have in
Absolutely.
there. Now getting to meet you and put some face to the picture, man. It's
Absolutely.
really awesome.
So,
your story's amazing.
It means a lot to me. I'm not this money hungry guy. I'm not greedy in any way. I mean, look, I just gave you freaking $200 worth of rosin for free, bro. Like,
trust me, I'm like, thank you, sir.
You know, I mean, you know, it's all about spreading the love. That's all it is, and that's what I like to do.
Fuck yeah, man.
So,
cool. Yeah. Same here. I really think that consumer education is the most important thing we can do, and then bigger than that, this cannabis community is the most loving place and the most the thing I'm proud of most in my life to be part of ever, that I've ever done anything. Because when I came up to Humboldt and stuff, I was a backpacking kid, you know, but I was accepted, and they saw my work ethic and stuff, and it was kind of like a slap love type thing, but it made me who I am today.
Absolutely.
You know?
Hey, I mean, you know, you get what you put out there, dude. If you're not out there putting out, you're not out there. I'm not talking dirty. You know? If you're not out there pushing hard, you're not grinding, you're not hustling, you're not, you know, you're just working a 9-to-5 job, and that's all you do, and then you expect more, and you complain about everything, and you know what? That's your own fault. Get your ass out there and hustle. You know.
Absolutely.
You know that's it's nonstop. You get what you want, dude. You gotta put in the hard work, the effort, the you gotta study, you gotta learn, you gotta educate yourself, and if you ain't out there doing that, then you better be happy with what you're doing, and don't complain. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's crazy out there in the world right now. It's insane with the pandemic, with the presidency, with the all the nonsense right now, the racism, just the hatred, just it's insane right now. Crazy.
It is, man.
So
it is.
That's not. I try and stay away from that shit.
Totally, dude. No, it's hard.
So
luckily, there's a sanctuary out
there.
Yeah.
So you know, it's been unreal. You know, the hash making for me. You know, I didn't really have people. Nobody really taught me. Like I didn't go learn from Frenchy Cannoli, or I didn't go to a specific class and was taught by anybody. I lived out in Potter Valley. I went to school out in Potter Valley, Mendocino County, and there was a guy out there that knew his hash. He knew how to make hash candies, all kinds of hashy stuff, and he taught me things. He told me tricks, and so I learned all these little things. And you know, watching videos, you pick up these little things, and then you put it in your own way, and you make your hash your way. And then I've been talking with Bird a lot, and you know, Bird told me that I've helped him out so much, and I've done so much for him, and helped him steer in the right way, and there were some little things I was missing on making my hash, on how I was doing my hash. And so I saw his cold room. I'm like, fuck, man, I need to build my cold room. Why am I slacking on this? Just seeing his room inspired me. I pushed, boom, got it done. And then he's like, hey, man, he's like, I want to show you how to do this. He's like, you cool with that? You want me to? I'd like to show you how I make hash. I'd love to give a favor back to you. I'm I'm like, yeah, bro, I'd love that. So he's like, here, you need to buy these wash machines. He's like explaining some stuff to me, and so I bought the new wash machines. He came over to my house, and he, we changed the wash machines up. We fixed them the way he liked them, and we ran Hash his way, and it was phenomenal.
Oh, fuck.
My cold room is phenomenal. My cold room gets super cold, and having a room that can control everything, your temperature, it means the whole world when you're making hash. Because if you don't have a cold room, or you're using warm water when you're rinsing or washing, it's gonna fuck things up. It's gonna change the color. It's gonna darken it. It's gonna oxidize it. You just don't want any of that. So, he taught me a few little tricks, and I put that in my own ways and doing that as well. And so much respect to Bird as well for him helping me out and showing me these little things. And Bird has taken classes from Frenchie Canoli, and he's learned from him, and he's probably exceeded Frenchie on his hash making skills. And so, Bird's having some classes coming up next month, and last night Bird texted me and said, hey man, I'd love to have you as a special guest on either the 12th or the 13th of next month. And I said, bro, I'm down.
Amazing, dude.
So
awesome.
yeah, so super cool. So Bird and I have built this relationship with each other that seems to be really strong. Bird had to give his freeze dryer back, and he's like, hey man, can I come? I've got all this hash. Can I come use your freezer? I'm like, fuck yeah, bro, come on over. And so he came over for 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Each week, once a week, and kept using my freeze dryer. And I didn't charge him anything for it, bro. I didn't ask him for anything. Of course, he gave me rosin, which is so much appreciated, and he was super appreciative of it as well, being able to use my freeze dryer so he can continue to make his hash and his rosin. And if I was a greedy piece of shit motherfucker that was in full competition with somebody like that, I wouldn't have allowed him to come over. I wouldn't have talked with him. I wouldn't have gave him tips. He wouldn't have gave me tips. He would have been cutthroat and be like, no, fuck you, dude. You can't come over. You can't use my shit. No. We're homies, dude. We're friendly competition. We're not out there trying to talk shit about each other's brands. We're out there pushing each other's brand. Whether I got my brand on me and his brand. I'm like, dude, you gotta try both these things are fire. Bird and Pez-Bro, or even Mendo Budsmith or Mendo Dope. It's all about spreading each other's love for each other, because I'm not cutthroat. If I was a straight corporate businessman, then that's what it's about. I'm not like that. I know business, but I'm not like that. And I know that sharing love and treating people the right way and showing that you care, that's going to bring you longevity in business and better business and more money.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's how Bird explained it. Bird basically told me that, you had shown him the solventlessness, shown him so many steps along the way that when he had something to bring you, he was proud to tell it to you. And
Absolutely.
the way he explained that is that the solventless community versus the solvent people, where they're all it's kind of locked in, compartmentalized information and stuff like that. It represents the rest of the petroleum empire, the rest of our, corporate world that we live in, and then where cannabis separates itself is, the craft. There's going to be something different. And yes, there's 2 rosin makers, but they're both, making completely different products.
Absolutely.
A different expression of everything. So.
Different farms, different farmers. They grow with different ingredients. They dry differently. They cure differently. They do everything different.
Different microculture.
Absolutely. Different
yeah.
climates. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got Bird up there, his family's farm out there in Willits. And I work with my own garden. I pull 40 to 50 pounds a season, which is great. I grow eight plants. And I pull 40 to 50 pounds. It's fucking enough.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not greedy. I could put fucking 50 or 60 plants on my property, but do I? No, I don't need it. I pull 40 to 50 pounds. That's plenty for me to work with. Plus, I work with probably 10 other farmers in Mendocino County that bring me their product all the time. That I'm always working with it, and they're happy to work with me with the percentage deals that I do with them, and they know that I'm fair. I'm not a hash maker that's stealing from these guys. I'm not a hash maker that's gonna lie to these guys. I invite them to come over and watch me. Hey, you want to come watch me make my while I wash your hash so you can see the return? Because I don't like being blamed for things.
I see,
I don't take blame well at all.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy if someone blames me for something that I absolutely didn't do.
Right.
So I'm that friendly. I invite people over. I want people to watch. I want people to feel comfortable. I want people to trust me. I want them to know that I'm not that shady person. I'm not gonna steal from you, because I hate thieves.
Yeah, totally.
I hate two things, dude: thieves and tweakers.
Yeah.
I hate thieves and tweakers, bro. That's it. And then most tweakers are thieves.
Yeah, totally.
So, it's I look at things differently, and I've definitely changed. I feel like I'm a pretty righteous person, you know. So
cool, man. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. I feel like one of the big themes and what I write about in We World magazine, my first article, and what I wanted to keep as a concurrent theme is the relationship between the hash maker and the grower, because I feel like it's an emphasis of both parties, the integrity that either have, because the union, first of all, it's a hunt, or not a hunt, but you're really searching for the right people to work with, and to know that you found, once you found it, you know it too.
Absolutely. You get that feeling from people. Most of the time it's if you know business, or you know how to read people, or you've been around a lot of people you do business with, you can learn just off of a feeling, or just off their presentation, or when they first walk in, you're like, I don't want to do business with that guy. I get a weird feeling about him.
Totally.
Like, no, I'm sorry, I just can't. And then I'll distance myself from that person, and I just won't make myself available to that person, or I just stay away. You know, I get those feelings from people. I've worked in public places my whole life.
Right.
Tons of people, and I've been in most of my jobs. I've always been in supervision or managerial positions, to where I'm overseeing a lot of people, and so I know how to read people very well, and it's not hard. So you definitely know who to work with, and don't, unless you don't know how to read people or get that feeling off them. So it's a trip. It's weird. I don't want to get all weird and sound weird, but you just get those, just get a feel for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, that's just the way I kind of go, off my gut instinct, and if I don't feel good about something, then I back away. And so everybody I've worked with, all the other farmers, all the other hash makers, all the other rosin makers, gotten great feelings from them. Never had bad vibes from them, ever. You know, it's my journey with Pez-Bro has been a very positive journey. There's a lot of people that hate on brands. There's a lot of people that talk shit. They pull this thing out and like, oh, this is brown, this doesn't, blah blah blah. And there's the hater. I never had a lot of people through my social media talking shit to me, saying your product sucks, it doesn't smell good, oh, I bought this product at this dispensary and it's horrible, blah blah blah. I never had people do that, dude. I feel it's because all these people that have purchased my product, they have met me. They've either met me at a show, or they've met me somewhere that I'm training somebody, and they got a good feeling from me. They're like, dude, this Pez-Bro guy is fucking cool. Like he spends time with people. He's there to talk to people. He's not just gonna push this off. When I get people Instagramming me or texting me, I try my hardest just to get right back to them, to say something to them, unless it's a scam page or some robot page, fuck that stuff. But if it's a real person and I look at them, I'm gonna contact them back, and I'm going to answer a question for them or help them out. And those people every single time say, thank you so much for taking time out of your time to answer that question, because nobody else will help me out. I've asked so many people to help me and ask this simple question, and nobody will help me. I'm like, I'm so sorry that that's happened to you, but like, if you ever need any more questions, please hit me up. Just not super late, but hit me up. Yeah. And I'm totally down to help people out. Again, my ways aren't always the right way, but my way can probably help you think of a better way, or to assist you in the way that you're looking for.
Dude, that's awesome. There's not enough of that in the world, and I think for real, your intentions have like created a ripple effect, because Bird treats things very similar. Absolutely. Our friendship developed because I was, it's constantly like, man, that is so fucking awesome. Please teach me, I want to learn.
Right.
Asking about his posts and stuff. So
absolutely,
really cool, man.
I mean, I got people in Switzerland, New Zealand, China, like all these different countries asking me questions on how to process rosin, or how do I do this, or how do I do that. I mean, there's a guy in New Zealand that actually became a good friend. I've actually never met him, but he became a really good friend online with me, and he makes rosin now because of my videos. No one in New Zealand is probably making rosin,
dude,
and he's fucking doing it. and he's doing Unreal grows, indoor grows. He calls and texts me all the time, asking me tons of questions about nutrients, what kind he should buy, or if I've heard of this brand or seed banks he should be buying from. And super cool cat, dude. And I get this from states all over. A lot of in Michigan, Oklahoma. I just got a bunch from Ohio. I got some guys from Texas and Ohio that both want to fly here and want to come see my grow and just see how to grow Mendo style. And because word is spreading out there back east. I mean, I've got some friends that used to live in Mendocino County. They're living now in Oklahoma, and they're teaching people how to grow Mendo style. And these people are like, "Oh, hey, have you ever heard of Pez-Bro?" And this guy's like, "No, I never heard of Pez-Bro. I saw some guy named Paul." And they're like, "Holy shit, I went to school with him." They're like, "What the fuck?" And like these people are like, "How do you know Paul?" And they're like, "Oh, Pez-Bro, he's known everywhere. Everybody knows Pez-Bro." And I'm like, holy shit. And so my friend from Oklahoma texts me and he's like, "Dude, you got a fucking reputation out here, dude. You're killing it, bro. People are asking about you. They're asking questions about you." And I'm just like, wow. Like, I don't even have a presence in Oklahoma. You know, I used to go to Oklahoma City a lot because I worked for Smart Pots. They're based in Oklahoma City, so I'd go there once, maybe twice a year. And I brought stickers with me. I couldn't bring my product with me, so I brought stickers. I passed out my, "Hey, go check out Instagram, check out my page, see what I'm doing." And just from there, word spread in Oklahoma City, and people, I've got a lot of actually people and friends that ask me questions. So it's cool. All over states, man. Ohio's been the trippiest one lately. I've got guys that have been asking me a lot of questions about their grows in Ohio, and they want to fly out here and come check out my grow and see what I'm doing differently than what they're doing. And learn. Everybody's calling it the Mendo style.
Sweet, dude.
It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Pretty freaking cool.
Really awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I could just keep rambling, dude. It's been quite a journey. You know, working with Mendo Dope has been fascinating. Became really good friends with Breezy and Oldie, Brian and Daniel. Done a lot of work with them. You know, I asked them to create a song for me, a Pez-Bro song. They did, and then I also asked them to create a video, an official Pez-Bro video, and we did. They shot a lot of that film all in my garden, and then we took my boat out and we did a live press on my boat, my bass boat, out on the water.
No way.
And, oh yeah, you gotta look it up on YouTube,
yeah.
bro. Look
Sweet,
it up on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh,
Look it up.
sweet.
To type in Mendo Dope Pez-Bro, you'll see the official music video. It was amazing, absolutely fun. I've done a tremendous amount of work with them. They've done a tremendous amount of work with me. You know, I went to Boston with them. I went to the Boston Freedom Rally with Mendo Dope and the band. I sponsored their whole show, so they invited me to go with them. I've never been to the East Coast like that. I had a blast. It was amazing. They brought me on stage. You know, they're like, "Hey, we want to bring out our friend on stage. This is our homie Pez-Bro." Brought me out on front of the stage with like 30,000 people smoking a fat joint. I just start throwing hat pins out. People are screaming and yelling for, I'm sure mostly for Mendo Dope, but for me to be up there, get that experience. Not a lot of people get to go up on stage in front of tens of thousands of people and have people screaming at you.
Dude, that's awesome.
Mainly them, screaming at them, but I was throwing shit, you know, and it was amazing. It was so cool. It was so fun. We were there for a few days, and I can't thank Mendo Dope enough. They're amazing guys. They're good friends, and I've got some stuff I'm gonna be watching for them too.
Oh, cool, dude!
So,
yeah, that's awesome. That's
super
a crazy collab. That's gonna be amazing.
So, you know, Mendo Dope, they did a article for me in the Weed World as well a while back, and there's actually pictures of us in there on the boat with the press, all of us huddled up together. So I had one article in the Weed World. I've done a bunch with some other magazines as well. We won't mention names, just because I know you work with Weed World. So you know, okay. Well, you know, I've had Skunk Magazine, Highway Magazine, and I can't remember some of the other ones now. But yeah,
awesome, dude.
It's been super fun with all the companies that I work with and the brands, and the journey's been amazing. I can't say enough about it. And it's still going. It's not ended. It hasn't stopped. You know, I still have lots of people that want my product. I have lots of dispensaries that want my product, and they're waiting for it. And it's just been a very difficult ride to get to the white label market, the legal market. And that's what I want. It's what I'm looking for. I want to be fully legal. I want my brands back on the shelves. I was in dispensaries all over Northern California. My product traveled all over different states, not by me, but other people came to California and bought it, and they took it back home, and they're just like, one of my friends was in New England or Rhode Island, and his friend comes over and he busts out some Pez-Bro, and he's like, holy shit, where did you get this, dude? And he's like, that's my friend. He's like, I know Pez-Bro. He's like, what? How the fuck do you know Pez-Bro? And he's like, dude, I know him. And he's like, busts out this rosin and they're smoking. He's like, oh my god, it was a
Legend.
trip. Yeah, so one of my homies, that's one of Mendo Dope's really good friends, Mr. Bond, was chilling, and his friends came back from a road trip, and they busted out the Pez-Bro, and he was like, I know Pez-Bro, he's my friend, he hangs out with Mendo Dope. It was just a trip. So my brand being able to spread around that way, it's just been unreal. I felt like I marketed my brand the right way. I've spent a lot of money on marketing, but if you don't do proper packaging, you don't spend the proper money on putting your brand out there, then it's going to be a little harder ride to get up there and get that brand out there.
Yeah, and this is done really well. Like, these boxes are amazing. So it's the same guy that Bird works with, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I turned Bird on to Brandon because Brandon was doing all of my work, all of my logos, all of my, he made my shirts, has my shirts done, has everything done for me. The masks I gave you, he had those masks done. So he does amazing work. He's a graphic designer. He's created my web page for me. I have a simple splash page online at www.pezbro.com where you can buy merchandise, meaning shirts and hats and hoodies and stuff like that. Same guy. Brandon does phenomenal work. He does a lot of packaging, and all this is embossed. It's got a texture to it, and I just throw out things to Brandon. Hey, I'll write a list. I'm like, Brandon, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking for these, and then he'll put all these ideas together, and then he presents them to me, and I'm like, I like this, but let's change this. Let's change this. No, let's do this, and he does it. And he's phenomenal, and he does great work. He's not out there skimping things. He's not out there trying to hustle guys. He's out there trying to get what those people want. This was this one?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
just want to make sure you don't mix
Thank
them up
you.
so you don't know.
Yes.
But, so that's,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I plan on having him make a logo for me for this, because I do plan on proceeding with it and making it more intense.
You should
But
definitely hit him up. Definitely.
Yeah.
Brandon's a good
He's a
cat.
super nice guy.
Brandon, a lot of respect for Brandon. I don't want to say I was one of his first clients. He was working with a few other guys too, and I was probably one of his first concentrate brands that he worked with, and like I said, we sat down at a coffee shop. We were just throwing ideas at each other. We wrote them down. He wrote them down. He came back with me a week later, and he's like, hey, this is what I got, and said, hey, no, I don't like this, or I like this, let's change this, and let's do that. And he did it, and he made it to the way I liked it. And then everybody that I showed this gold bar logo to was freaking like, holy shit, that is the sickest logo I've ever seen. Oh my god, whoa. And so it was just really cool, man. Like,
It's awesome.
Can't say enough for how much Brandon has helped me out. It's been unreal. Absolutely.
Well, honestly, it's more professional than a lot of the companies that are in stores, right?
Yeah.
Just to say, no names, but yeah.
Cheers, cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. That was the Girl Scout cookie. Yeah, I thought so.
Oh man, this hits so much differently than what I'm so used to, because I use a banger,
Right.
or I actually use a diamond knot nail. I actually don't use the bangers. I mean, the bangers work great, but I like using these diamond knot nails to where you don't need a cap, or you don't have to use Q-tips to clean them. And, it's a little bit of a hotter hit, but man, that's awesome. That works really well. Because
seriously, I have another one. I have it set for you. We're gonna
Awesome.
hook it up.
Awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Yeah. And maybe next time or something, I'll bust it out. This thing changed my life. It's like this dab insert. Have you seen them?
It goes inside the bangers?
Yeah, it goes inside the banger.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made it out of sapphire.
Okay.
So it's like it can go to a super low temperature, but it'll hold it for a longer time.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, literally like one small dab that you put like that, the amount we put on there, you know, literally we were passing it around because you can hit it and it'll keep going, it'll maintain the temperature.
Yeah.
We got 24 hits out of one, like passing it. So
Whoa.
passing,
Wow.
yeah, out of one
Wow.
dab. So we were like, this is like the passable dab. It's recycling or reusing the fucking hit way more than anything I've ever seen. So I bought one. They're like $400 for the insert, but it's literally like, to me, for the solventless and the price of it and all that stuff, it's like it's the way you get the most out of your.
That's
product.
cool.
It's pretty crazy.
The diamond knot nail I use, you can do about 3 hits off of it.
Okay.
It holds heat for a while, so it's got an outer layer, and then it just has all these knots inside of it that go down, and so you I get it pretty red hot, and I wait about 45 seconds or even up to a minute if you want, and you can get 3 hits off of it.
That's awesome.
Get it, pass it.
Fuck yeah.
No Q-tips, no carbs needed, no nothing, and so it's nice. But after a while, your banger starts. I mean, the nail starts getting charred. You know, and you can't really clean it unless you just torch the heck out of it and drop it in some water, and then everything just kind of shatters out of it, which is awesome. It's crazy, but it cleans out really well.
Wow.
So,
what is it made of?
It's made out of quartz.
Oh, okay.
He said it's diamond quartz. I don't know what that means, but he said it's diamond quartz. And I've been buying them from this guy for a long time. He gives me a good deal on them.
Dude, that's awesome.
They work well. So,
I'd love to see that. Yeah, I can't visualize.
I'll have to try and get you one. And it's I don't have any new ones right now, but I'll have to try and get you one.
Fuck yeah.
Next time when I come out or we do something, I'll get you a hat. I'll get you a shirt. I didn't have time to go run to my storage unit where all my gear is at, so I just was able to grab what I had at my house.
Well, dude, thank you so much. That's fucking awesome, bro. Serious.
So, no, man, it's been amazing. It's fun.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I love teaching people. I love helping people. I've never had people doing anything like that for me, ever.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure.
Everything I do, have, and own, it's because of what I do. I worked my ass off for it. And I'm not talking about Pez-Bro. I'm not talking about making money off of Pez-Bro brand. I'm talking about since I was 17, 16 years old, working my ass off, having full-time jobs the whole time until now. I'm 40 years old.
Fuck yeah, and that's why Pez-Bro is what it is. Because that's your passion project, and that's all the work ethic and all the things added together. Man, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
Lots of hard work, lots of passion, and lots of ups and downs. And, you know, it's just, again, I can't say enough of what an amazing journey it's been. It's not over though, and it's can't see where it's gonna take me. I can't wait to see where it's gonna take me, and see what it's gonna do, how it's gonna help people, and who knows what's gonna be the next thing after Rosin or BHO or CO2. What's gonna be the next cannabis thing that comes out that is processed a different way, or extracted another way? It's gonna be like, oh my god, look at that. So let's see. You know, I mean, shit. Like I said, I've been making hash since I was 16, 17 years old, being taught by this guy out in Hunter Valley and growing as well. I mean, back then I was only growing a couple plants because I was super hush. Had to hide that shit under manzanita trees and bushes and can't let anybody know you're growing. And it was different. It was a trip where you had to hide. You had to, helicopters were flying over your patches and ready to drop down and just come wipe you out. Out in the hills out there and under all the manzanita trees, and it was a trip. All these different farms I'd go to, and the tunnels you had to climb through and crawl through the blackberry bushes just to go to a patch. It was insane. Wow. Booby traps, and it was a trip, man. And then all of a sudden it just became super open. Everybody's growing in their backyards, and such a trip. Really crazy.
Wow. Wow.
So, I know New York, you said you're from New York. Growing over there was probably mostly all indoor growing unless you're living in some different areas. But it was probably a lot different
Completely
than it
different.
is here on the West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I remember
the
the
weather, Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember the first time I smoked cannabis that was fresh from Humboldt County. It genuinely changed my life, and I said, I'll never leave here. Like, immediately I felt I had no reason to ever leave.
Right.
You know, and before that, my lifestyle was being backpacking and trying new places because I was sick of, the same thing reoccurring. And landing in Humboldt County, trying fresh herb changed my life because in New York, the weed burns. You could hit it, and the whole joint will burn because it's so dry and stuff. You know?
Oh man, one hit is gone. I'm like, dude, I can't share that joint.
Yeah, no, and exactly. And Jim Morrison said you could pick your teeth with a New York joint because how expensive it was and shit. So, everything is just tenfold better over here. People want to share the love.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people are conscious about it. People are always trying to find a better way around here about growing foods, growing cannabis, and making it healthier, cleaner for you versus commercial synthetic grown products.
Totally.
Yeah, I can't say I don't eat things that aren't as healthy for me, but I practice growing everything that I grow in my house purely organic.
That's awesome, man. So one of the big things that I've been introduced to recently, and especially with hash and stuff, is the regenerative farming and agriculture and all that stuff. That is what I think is the most interesting, and I think it's going to be spearled by the cannabis community and by the industry, but it can actually take back everything. Like the country has fallen to where mass production in the food is owned by certain people and sold to the masses.
Right.
And that can be taken back if people start homesteading or realizing that it's throw a few seeds in your goddamn garden.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and I understand a lot. Some people don't have the option of being able to grow food at home or raising livestock or raising chickens, things like that. And I get that. A lot of people live in cities or in apartments and stuff like that. But those that live out in the country, and I feel you definitely should be practicing homesteading. Learning how to grow all your own food, how to grow your own cannabis, how to raise your own livestock if you have the land for it, and being self-sustained, and knock out some of these big corporations that are bad, that are hurting us, that are, Monsantos and just horrible corporations, dude, that just wipe farmers out, steal their shit from them because of genetically modified seeds that passed over onto their farm because of the wind. It's fucking bullshit, man. It's just ripping people's livelihoods from them for nothing because they bred a seed that crossed and contaminated over to another farm, and then they had full rights over it and stole their property. Just horrible shit, man. I don't believe in that at all.
Absolutely.
That's horrible. That's just the big corporations taking what they know people are doing that's right and what's healthy and what's the right way, and they want to control it. They don't like that because they don't have control on it. They can't tax them enough. So crazy shit, man.
Exactly.
Fucked up shit.
Exactly.
I don't like any of that. I'm against all that. I try to shop in stores. I don't that where my money's gonna go back locally. I don't shop at places like Safeway where my money goes back to Texas. Fuck Texas, dude. The big corporations, big money, Walmart and all that. I don't even go to Walmart anymore. I mean, since the pandemic, for one, I haven't even stepped foot in Walmart since 6-7 months now. It's just, I don't like supporting those corporations. They're not good.
Serious.
They're bad. They have a lot of power and they're horrible.
Serious. Yeah, for real. No, I mean, that's, again, another thing about cannabis that can help people to see what kind of community bloomed up in the Emerald Triangle.
Yeah.
It is a place where people demand that, keep it within the community, and because of that, the community is strong. Yeah. It's something I've never seen in my life.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a lot of people that are, trying to build an alliance, or trying to build a group that wants to stick together and fight for what we've got as small and fat cannabis growers or concentrate producers. We'll see what happens with that, how far it'll go. So, I don't know. It's going to be a crazy battle. We'll see where this industry goes, where, the state's going to go with it, how lenient or how more cutthroat they're going to be with it. I mean, because basically the way they've set up the system is just straight cutthroat. They're weeding out everybody that has no money. And even those that have money, they're making these people jump up and down through hoops on rolling mud, pay this, pay that, pay all this fucking money, and and then they gotta take their cannabis or their concentrates to a lab that gets tested and then gets quarantined for months before it even hits the shelf, and then at that point the product's degraded. I mean, what the fuck is that, dude? You don't see cigarette tobacco companies doing that. Their shit's going straight from the factory straight to the stores. Where's their testings? Well, why aren't they showing their test results on cigarettes, on alcohol? Why do they have that much power that they don't have to show their ingredient lists on tobacco? Why aren't people standing up for that? Why are the cannabis community allowing that? Why do we have to jump through and spend all this bullshit money for test results showing how much THC, or whether we got mold, or whether there's pesticide, or there's some water, or there's this or that in it? What about cigarettes, dude? How many fucking nasty, disgusting chemicals are in there? Why aren't they having to show it? Fuck Philip Morris, you know? That's all I gotta say.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just, the laws against the cannabis growers have been put in place to make people fail. It's just the way it is. Unless you are behind the big scenes with the big corporations that control tobacco. It's just horrible.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's very scary. And who knows? Maybe I'll get some hate from it. Maybe this will go somewhere. Maybe some people will see this. I mean, hopefully, you know, people are afraid to speak out. I'm not.
Fuck yeah. Same. That's exactly why I started doing this, and I can't even believe Weed World magazine has not edited what I say, because I straight up have talked about that. I wrote my article about Bird, and I've written two kind of that talk about Bird a lot, because I've spent a lot of time with him recently, and a lot of the hash and the rosin I've been looking at and thinking about is not on that fresh frozen scale. And anyway, he represents that to me very well, and I've been writing about how, like, the model that's set up and the way that things are, it could not allow for somebody to do or to operate in a way that he goes about it and stuff, and he says that himself. So it's like, that to me is, it's, you know, the quality product that would make that he used to make the to win the Emerald Cup first place, to make the rosin and Rosin, which is the full spectrum, where most people wouldn't even try.
Absolutely.
That. They'd be cutting the microns down.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that is an amazing synergy of things coming together to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. No, all these here, they're full spectrum.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're all full spectrum.
Wow.
I'm not cutting out, you know, or isolating certain microns. I believe in the full spectrum as well. I want that full effect of what I'm smoking. I want whatever benefits it has to it. I want those full effects. Smoking some of these other hash rosins that are isolated, like just 90U or 70U, yeah, they taste great. The terpene profile is not there like the full spectrum, and the high is not there like the full spectrum. The high does not last very long.
No, exactly.
It only lasts for a short time. Full spectrum hash, your high lasts way longer. It's got a way better terpene profile for you, and it's going to have more benefits for you.
Metaphysical and medicinal. That's what I'm always writing about. I always say the medicinal and metaphysical effects, because both of them are there. If you're looking for them, if you know what to do.
Don't get me wrong. It's nice to taste some straight just 90U or 120U or 73U. Great to taste it, but if you're looking for the full benefits of the cannabis, I would go with full spec.
Yeah, no, I agree, absolutely. It's orange juice versus orange juice with pulp.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And it's true, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there's so many pros and cons on it, or bias. It's a trip. There's so much hype about hash and BHO and CO2 and flower rosin, all these different things. And it's all hype. It's just someone talking shit. I mean, you know,
people that don't have their hands on things.
It's the people that don't have their hands on things, or somebody that just like, oh, this is the best just because it is, and they're saying so. Well, who the fuck are they to say so? Are you some big ass motherfucker that you have a ton of respect in this industry to where you have the right to say, oh, this is better than this? Fuck no, your packaging's better than this because of that, or because of the jar, or because of that. That's all bullshit. All bullshit. You put out your package, you put out your product, and people like it because they like it. I could have the shittiest packaging in the world right here, and people love it, and will still buy it because they love the product. Not the package, not how big the jar is, not how what the color is, not any of that stuff. It's knowing what your product is and how it's been made and how it's been grown and where it's been grown, and knowing that producer, knowing that extraction artist, it's where it all comes from. It's knowing that person. You know, you could put Pepsi, some other big huge name brand, Nike. They could put out some ugly ass bullshit packaging or something. People will eat it up just because of the brand name. All this hype about heady jar space, flour rosin, packaging, all that shit's bullshit. You buy the product for what it is, for how good it is, for knowing who it came from, where it was sourced. That's all it is. It's that simple. All that other shit's just hyping people talking shit.
No, you're right.
Trying to cause a ruckus.
100%.
That's all it is.
It's uninformed or uneducated people as well,
absolutely.
because I feel like the force or the amount of adulterated products in the world have created the fact that cannabis and true people that are passionate about it want to know exactly what it is. And that's why the living soil, this and that. And you know, I respect the shit out of every person that goes out of the way to say where it's from. This is Mendocino.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like that's going to create the legacy that people will understand the culture. It's not just something you can grow in your garage or in your basement.
No,
you know, with light bulbs. You can't do that.
It's just. I like to inform people. That's why it bugs me when you see all this stuff and garbage being talked on social media about all the things I was just mentioning. You know, it's just all nonsense, and it's just try to get people to speak out and talk shit and cause more of a ripple. And I won't end up really speaking out on things like that, but at certain points I will. You know, especially when I go live or I'm on film, I'll make my opinion or my thoughts heard. You know,
it's important, man.
Going on Instagram or social media, typing back and forth, arguing with some dumb shit about packaging or about headspace or about flour rosin or about your seeds or your genetics or how you grow or how your nutrients you use or whatever it is they're arguing about. It's a waste of your time. It's a bullshit. That motherfucker's bored sitting at home all day long doing nothing else but trying to find somebody else to talk shit to. And I don't play that game. That's not who I am. I put out fire, and people know that, and people like it for what I have. And again, I just changed my packaging just because I had lots of people requesting and asking for jars, you know, so I was always against using jars. And you saw how hard some of that was to pull out. Sometimes that happens.
Never experienced that.
And I liked using this silicone paper that worked really well. It is not parchment paper, which people
I have it right there.
Yeah, so it's not PDF paper. It's silicone coated paper, and that stuff worked really well. I was using the smelly proof bags and using, like I said, a nice square size box that they came in where I was able to shove my stickers in them, and it worked really well. And you know, so a lot of people just asking for jars, so I switched over to jars just recently. Got new packaging.
Yeah, I think both are awesome. I like those because they were unique. I like the square. I still have it because I like that blueberry muffin. Yeah, it's right there. I think.
Oh yes, it is right there.
Yeah. Sweet, yeah, cool.
yeah. So that one's the blueberry muffins. That's my older package right there, and it's same gold bar.
Fuck yeah.
And you know, I like that packaging. That one did really well. A lot of people really liked it. So yeah. It looks like, look at all these boxes. He's got all the fire over here. He's got some Mendo Bud Smith and honey butter rosin. He's got the bird stuff over here. Now some more Pez-Bro.
Fuck yeah.
So,
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been pretty cool being here Sunday morning. You know, it's nice and early. Hit up Frank Dank hit me up and wanted to have me come out and say what up to everybody and have him ask me some questions and talk about Pez-Bro and what I've been doing and what my journey's been like and I'm fortunate to be here and I appreciate and honored to be here. And,
dude, thank you.
I hope the audience enjoys what we've been speaking about.
Dude, it was super inspirational, man. Honestly, I'm really stoked you came out. Thank you.
That's what I'm about. I want to inform people, whether I'm right or wrong. I still want to voice my opinion. I want to teach people what I've learned so that these people can learn from my mistakes and not have to spend a lot of money on trial and error or fucking up their product to get to the point where I've gotten to. I want you to know how I've done it, how I've messed up, and what my temperatures and what I've done and my experiences so you succeed. Whether you have a lot of money or not. You know, I don't have a lot of money. I'm pushing through this hard. I work a full-time job and I got a family at home and doing whatever I can to get my brand out there, to push it, to get it in people's hands, to get it just out there. It's recognized already, but you know, finding the right person to actually work with, have it as an investor. A lot of people out there are just full of talk. People will tell you this and they'll tell you that just because they think that you want to hear that, and when it comes to it, truth be told, it don't happen. And those who know me know I'm a good person, and then I'm that person that they would really want to work with. But those that told me they wanted to work with me and then lied to me, they don't know what they missed out on. And so I'm looking for that right person, and can't wait for that to happen. Get my brand back on the shelf. Again, I have shelf space all over California that are just waiting for my brand, that I've contacted with and told me as soon as I am legal, they will bring my brand right back in. I always have a shelf space, and that has to do with me on how I treat these people, these buyers at these dispensaries. I don't come in there acting like some cutthroat salesman. I'm in there and, hey, you want to try my product here? Here's some for free. Can we set up an appointment next time? I'll buy whatever you got on you right now. You know? And it's all those first introductions with these people and how you treat people and how your voice comes out to people and your knowledge with what you're talking about, not sounding like some car salesman. That's where the longevity of that relationship starts. And that's where that all happened for me. So that's why I have all these shelf spaces in all these places that are just waiting for me. But I don't have the money to buy and get a facility to get my license. That's what's holding me back. And I'm looking for that investor or that friend or somebody that wants to take that ride and is willing and ready to help me push my brand back out there. Because there's a want for it. It's on hold.
Gotcha.
But other than that, I was born out in Ukiah, Mendocino County. I'm a country guy, dude. I was born out in the country. I'm an outdoors man. I love to fish. I love hiking. I love boating. Fishing is just my hands down favorite thing to do. It's my hobby. It's my passion. Besides making hash rosin or making rosin, fishing is my thing. That's why I've got logos incorporated with fish with Pez-Bro. That's why I'm Lopez, and Pez stands for fish. And I've done a lot of tournament fishing, a lot of semi-pro tournaments, club tournaments, and I've done well, and I've had fun. I've been sponsored. I've had my boat wrapped. I've had clothing made for me.
Sick, dude.
That's my other passion. I mean, if I wasn't making hash, I would be full-time fishing every single weekend.
Oh, fuck
that
yeah,
is
man.
what I do. All my friends who know me, they know I'm a massive fisherman. I'll be out in the wintertime. I'll be out in the river, full-blown, just pouring flat rain. I'll be in the middle of the river with my waders, my rain gear. Oops, sorry. Just be fishing all day long.
Hell yeah.
Nose just running, dripping with fucking just snot because it's so cold outside. Your line freezing up. I mean, I'm that hardcore in fishing. I love fishing. Those who know me know. And
fuck yeah, dude.
It's my passion.
Dude, no wonder you like the wet room. That's badass.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so
fuck yeah.
That and shooting guns. I'm just an outdoors person. That's what I love doing. I love being outdoors. It's who I am. I was never raised in a big city, so I've never experienced that type of lifestyle.
Totally.
I've been to a lot of cities, and I've stayed in cities, but I've never been raised or actually lived in a big city. Santa Rosa's the biggest city that's closest to me, only an hour away besides San Francisco. So I don't even spend a lot of time in San Francisco. I mean,
totally.
it's just too chaotic down there for me. I mean, Santa Rosa is almost sometimes too chaotic. So
I hear you.
I mean, Santa Rosa is awesome. They've got more options down here than up north. So we make our trips down here a lot. We pick up things, and there's a really cool store here called Caesars that I do buy a lot of tropical fish from, and so, yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I fish at home. We've got a lot of tropical fish at home, saltwater, tropical fish, and yeah.
Like aquariums?
Aquariums, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
cool,
aquariums. Yeah, I
dude.
got a saltwater aquariums. I got a two freshwater aquariums. I have a lot of peacock bass. My peacock bass are, they're pretty big.
Badass.
They're huge. And I've had those for, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. And love my peacock bass. They're unreal. I mean, I could just hold a fish in my finger and put it down, and it'll just take it out of my hand. I mean, you can pet them too. They're freaking cool.
Wow,
they're
dude.
just they're big old peacock bass that come from the Amazon, and it's super cool. I love fish, dude.
Pez-Bro, this is fucking awesome,
Yeah,
man. That is
yeah.
fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, you're Aquaman, dude.
Yeah, Aquaman, dude.
Serious, that is so fucking awesome, man.
So yeah, dude.
So that has been as long as cannabis, or longer, or entwined with your passion for like did you fish and then find the wet room?
I've been always fishing since I was a little kid.
Yeah. Okay.
My dad taught me how to fish when I was as long as I can remember, being a little kid fishing out in the river, trout fishing.
Gotcha.
And then as I got into junior high, the friends that I was hanging out with, that I was raised with, and we started getting into fishing, and we, out in the country, out in Potter Valley, small town, we didn't have a lot to do out there, so we hop on our bikes and we'd go on a 2-3 mile bike ride just to get to the river and go fishing with a couple of friends. And back then, we're 12, 14, just learning about smoking pot. We smoking cigarettes, and that's how we got away. And we went and hid, and we get to go smoke our cigarettes and go get high or drink a beer, and we were fishing, with a couple of friends, and we had fun. And then right out of college, I went out to this lake out in Potter Valley called Lake Pillsbury. And I was introduced to bass fishing. I never bass fished before. I was always river fishing for trout, or I was ocean fishing. And I was introduced to largemouth bass fishing, and we caught these bass, dude. And the fight of catching one of these fish was amazing. I can't explain it, but it's my passion. It's what I love. That feeling. So I started joining some club tournaments and riding on these guys' bass boats, and I was like, oh my god, dude, the power these boats have behind them, how low profile you're sitting into the water, and just how fast you're moving on the water, and we're in tournaments with competitive fishing. It was unreal. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy a fucking boat. I went and bought a brand new bass boat off the lot, dude. I had a Jeep. I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna sell this Jeep. I'm not putting the money into this Jeep that I wanted to. I wanted to four-wheel in it. It was a sick-ass 1970 CJ5 Jeep. Super low speeds, only had 3 speeds. I mean, you put it in first gear, the thing starts taking off, just starts crawling. It was like, holy shit. So I sold my Jeep. I told my wife, I'm gonna sell this Jeep. The day I sell my Jeep, I'm gonna go buy a boat the next day. She's like, no, you're not. Sold my Jeep. The next day I went and I bought a fucking boat. I came home with the boat. My wife was like, oh my god, you fucking bought a boat. She was kind of mad. And until I took her out on the boat and changed her whole experience.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So I bought that boat. I was working for a company called Hydro Pacific in Ukiah, a hydro store. And I talked to them about sponsoring me for these tournaments. There were 7 tournaments in a year. Each tournament was $300. And they're like, yeah, we'll do it. And I'm like, well, hey, what about, they're like, can we wrap your boat? I'm like, can you make me clothing? They're like, yeah, we'll do all of that. So they wrapped my boat with these big Hydro Pacific logos and butterflies and all this awesome shit. And then they made us, me and my partner that I was fishing with, they made us, him and I, rain jackets, hoodies, long sleeve shirts, beanies, face masks, and then they paid for all of my tournaments, all 7 tournaments, which was $300 per tournament. And the series we were doing, we were fishing against 180 boats, 100, 200 boats. So that's, almost 400 people fishing on a lake in one day, and we're fucking whooping people's asses. I mean, not hella, but I mean, coming in 24th place, or coming in 30th place, or coming in 6th place out of 400 people, bro. That's insane.
That is fucking
I mean,
crazy.
and
Wow.
us being novices too, complete novice fishermen. And if I would have pursued that harder, and I'm still not saying I'm not, I guarantee you I would be sponsored by now. I'd be a pro. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Badass. Well, hey, your energy is very appreciated in cannabis.
Yeah, absolutely. Cannabis is fishing, cannabis, and my family are my passion.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. See, that's the thing. That is what America, I feel like, is about, and that is what we need to restore. Is the idea that the American dream does still exist.
Right.
It's here for everybody as well.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
If you don't put your dreams into effect, then you're not gonna go there. Your dreams won't come true. And if you got people telling you can't do it, push harder to do it.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
Push harder to do it. Make that be the driving point for you. Don't let someone tell you you can't do something. Don't let someone tell you you're not good enough to do that. You don't got money to do that. Fuck that shit.
Serious. It's not an easy world, and
No.
it almost feels like a lot of the time everything is pulling against something that would make someone feel whole,
Right.
or the pathway that would make someone feel whole. For me, it's music, and music opened the doorway for all this stuff, because I was trying to figure out a lifestyle that would help me to be able to play music,
Right.
and it's not feasible in this world because you need a job and all this stuff, so I knew I had to work, and coming out here, I saw an opportunity that I could do something for my life,
Right.
and then Hash changed my life from there to where I wanted to pursue Hash and do all this. So.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, so, when I was younger, high school, I used to skate a lot, skateboard, and I was kind of like a skateboard punk, kind of, you want to call it?
Totally.
Didn't care about shit. You thought about anarchy this, and you wanted to do graffiti, and fuck this, fuck people, like, you wanted to be just
Absolutely.
retaliate against everything, and that wasn't who I was, dude. That's not who I am. Skateboarding was fun. The crowd I was hanging out were cool. We weren't violent people, but we had our attitudes, and back then I used to listen to a lot of like punk music, listen to a lot of rap music, and then I was introduced to reggae. And I listened to tons of Bob Marley, which everybody listens to, but I listened to more than that. I listened to Peter Tosh, Buju Banton, and the Israel Vibrations, like the originals.
Cheers, brother. Fuck yeah.
So that was the Lion Spot, huh? Super tasty, really mellow.
Wow.
Those music changed my ways of thought. Oh wow.
Delicious.
The way I see things. So yeah, listening to Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, those guys changed my ways of thinking and the way who I am. So.
Dude, that's awesome. I feel like there is a lot of social engineering via media and stuff like that. Another reason that I feel like it's really important to do stuff like this and talk about genuine stuff.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like, rap, it has its place. Same with, like you said, punk music, it has its place, but it's fueling a fire, especially in the youth. I had the same thing. I was, angry and taking out kind of on humanity and the earth, whereas I found myself in aligning with those two things very much.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I guess a lot has depends on how you were raised and your situation where how you're living, and just your whole situation, I guess, on how you're being raised, man. Life's tough. Life's rough.
Absolutely, for sure.
So, like I was saying, my I didn't really say this earlier, but my family, we weren't very wealthy growing up at all, and we didn't have the options of getting to do things that other friends things that we didn't get to have or get to experience. But so that drove me to be a better person, to be a stronger person, to work for what I got, what I want, you know, to appreciate what I have. Everything I own and have is because I did it. You know, we worked hard for it. We did that. I didn't have parents that paid for my schooling. I didn't have parents that were able to pay my insurance, pay for a car for me, any of that kind of stuff. They didn't have enough money, dude. And so I didn't want to be in that same boat. I wanted to be wealthy, and I wanted to be able to afford things that I wanted, and I wanted to live comfortably. So I could not be lazy. I had to get my ass up, and I had to go. And I had to push hard to get what I wanted.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So that's why I am who I am and where I am at today.
Fuck yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've heard a very similar motivation from a lot of the people I respect, and I feel the same way, is that I didn't want for my children in the future what I, you know, experienced growing up. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like the cannabis thing is a vision, and people see the end result being, you know, a prosperous community and growing plants and herbs on the planet, and people happy. They don't see fucking, you know, bills paid and a mortuary and shit, you know. It's
Yeah.
something to pass on to the next generation, not just it ends with, you know, fighting for food at the end of, you know.
Yeah, man. So it's I don't know what else to say.
No, yeah, hey, dude, it's been awesome. Like, it's been a really long conversation. It's been awesome.
Like, I mean, I don't know if you have any, you know, specific questions that you might want to ask me to put out there, and I'll gladly.
Cool, dude, awesome. So I do have some hash questions just to see how you feel and stuff, or like what your perspective on stuff. I guess where did you start? What was your first experience with hash, or like ice water hash, or something like that, or some old stories or something like that from, you know, since you were really from Mendo?
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, first time being introduced to hash, I was, you know, again, a guy out in Potter Valley, older gentleman, was one of my friend's dads, introduced me to hash. Came over to his house, not during school, it was Alpha School, and went to go see his son, because I wanted to buy some weed. I wanted to buy an eighth or an ounce or something like that, right? And his dad's like, hey, Paul, you gotta come over here, come try this hash. I'm like, what is that? Well, hash? What is it? He's all, come over here, and he's all, I make it like this. And the way he used to make his hash, he was explaining it to me. He would make he would sift his product through screens, and then he would collect it like a dry sift, and then he would make a mold with foil, like anything. You can get a lighter, anything, whatever size, shape you want it. You make a mold of it with foil, and then you fill it up, and then you close it or seal it at the end, and you use an iron. And you iron the top, you flip it over, and you iron it, and you keep doing that. And then what that does is it creates that sheen all the way around the tops and bottoms and sides of that whole thing. You just rip it open. It's a phenomenal hash. Very similar to using the bottle with the heat, rolling it, doing the French and cannoli style, but different. This is the way he was teaching me. And so I hit that shit and hacked my lungs out. I was high as fuck, and like at first I was paranoid a little bit. I was super high, did not want to drive home. I told my wife she needed to drive. She was my girlfriend at the time, and I couldn't function. I was high as fuck, so high. And I went back over there a week later, and he's like, "Oh man, you gotta try this." And he pulls out marshmallows in a glass jar, jet puffed marshmallow, and he's got this tray full of this fucking just all heads like hash. And he's like, "You gotta try this, Paul." And he sticks the spoon in the jet puffed marshmallow, scoops out a big scoop, and then he grabs it and just rolls it all over this tray with just heads, all hash, just phenomenal hash. So here you go. And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You gotta eat that." I'm like, "I can't eat that whole thing. That's gonna fuck me up, dude." He's like, No, you're all good. You can chill here." And so I'm like, "All right." I ate the whole spoon. I was so freaking high. I had to have my wife drive me home again. I was so high I could barely even walk. It was just at that point the highest I've ever been in my life. At that point, I was like 16 years old or 17 years old, you know, and feeling that high. At first, it was scary. Feeling the anxiety, it was scary, but being in that culture. Every single day on lunch, we were blazing weed with everybody. We were building our tolerance, and everybody we were growing that was growing or were growers back there were growing phenomenal weed. We had high grade weed, and so our tolerance levels built up fast. We were immune to it basically.
Yeah.
And so the hash, I was fascinated from those points on, from him showing me how he made his hash. How he was sifting them, how he was pressing them with an iron and making molds and making just this beautiful hash. And then he started telling me about washing. And so I went out and bought a pair of bubble bags, 5-gallon kit, 8-bag kit from Bubble Bag brand. And I actually still have them. I'm still using them.
No way.
I put them away for like 5 years because I went to using 32-gallon bag size, and so I had them all folded up, put away, hella nice, kept care of them. And so Bert showed me his method on how he was doing his hash making. So I'm like, all right, I need to bust out the 5 gallons again. I don't need 32s anymore. So he showed me which ones he was using, and so I copied him on that. And so I've been using my bubble bags. Rosin Evolution just recently sent me some set. I've been using those as well. So that was one of the. So that at that point, that was my first time making water hash when I bought those bubble bags, and I had this gentleman, explain to me how he was doing it. And at that time, we weren't using a drill. We used to use a drill with a big long paint paddle on it, and when he taught me, we were using just a wood paddle, and using these bags and hand turning them basically, and making hash and collecting it. And that was my first time, was around 17 years old, I would say. 16, 17 years old that I learned how to make hash. And I was actually smoking hash around 16 years old and loved it from that point on. And learned how to make hash his way. That I don't know where he learned it from. He was a well-known grower out in Potter Valley. He's been rated many times. He's got the reputation for knowing how to grow really good weed. And he was a hash maker. He had coffee cans everywhere in his house full of hash. Just bricks and bricks and bricks of hash everywhere.
That is the hash story I was
phenomenal.
Thank you, God, dude. Yes.
Phenomenal.
Yes. Oh
like for seeing that. So he obviously learned from maybe from someone from Morocco or somewhere on the eastern side of the world. I'm not sure. But seeing him having all of his hash being stored in Folgers coffee cans. That's how they did it in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
that's how they do that, And that's what I saw. I remember even reading in the newspaper when he got rated how many fucking Folgers coffee cans were in his house full of hash.
There was a number?
There was, yeah.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, that's where I grew my passion for hash, because I was smoking weed. I was smoking weed at like 15, 16 years old, but then I was introduced to hash around 16, 17 years old, and that's when I grew my fascination for it.
Wow.
Passion for it. Yeah, and then reading one of the books, the Hashish book, the original Hashish book.
Yeah,
this one right there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That one.
Robert Clark's. Yeah.
That one, I have that book, and that book, with the guy wearing that big hash necklace that just on them, I'm like, oh my God, look at that. And then just seeing the way that the Afghani people would collect the resins off the plants by just rubbing their hands all up and down them, and then collecting it all off their hands, and then how they would store it or say they cure it for 7 years before they would smoke it, and I grew a passion for it. I thought it was amazing.
It's awesome. That is awesome, and that's what we need here, or at least what I really want to understand and put out there for people is what did occur like I guess in the 80s and 90s and stuff in Humboldt, because people talk about the hash that was around then and all that stuff in the Mendocino, the Emerald Triangle, you know, and just all that the culture, you know, that they were appreciating from overseas.
Absolutely, no problem. And so you know, I was loving hash at that point, and then I just got out of high school, and we went to Reggae on the River, and I remember this guy walking around. I'm like, I was telling my friend, I'm like, I want to find some hash, dude. I want to find some good hash here. And this guy walking around, he's like, I got Moroccan hash. He's got a brick in his hand. He's walking around holding it like kind of tucked in his hand, kind of like not letting everybody see it, and it's all wrapped up, and it's got a gold stamp on it, like it came from Morocco or Afghanistan with this original gold stamp on it. I'm like, oh God, and he's like shearing chunks off for me, dude. And I was like, oh my God, if I had money back then, I would have bought the whole brick. But he said it was like $4,000 for the brick. It was a brick like that, that big, gold stamp, all wrapped up with like the cellophane wrap or whatever it was. You know?
Yeah,
super cool. And then that's just seeing that hash, because I had that book and reading a lot about the Eastern Indians, the way they process their hash and make it, and learning that point on, seeing that brick of hash is like, that made me want it. Like, I want that. I can do that. I can do better. And that's just from there. That's just what I was just so fascinated with it.
Look,
just always learning from that point on, still to today. Always learning. Never ending.
Well, California, I feel like, is on the precipice of all the science, and it's
absolutely
all being developed.
We're on the front lines of it.
That's what I'm saying.
We are on the straight front lines of the cannabis industry and where it's going to be going in the future. I mean, yeah, you got other states that are now growing big. Their laws are different, and but are they going to be doing all the studies? Are they going to be doing organic growing? Are they going to be looking for the full benefits that cannabis really has?
They don't have all the microclimate. They don't have all the, you know.
And that's why grapes are so massive here in California. We've got the right climate for it, and cannabis likes that same climate. It does very well. I mean, there's other places that cannabis grows really, really well, but we get that long outdoor full-term grow that you get the full time, the full sun grow, versus other states where you get a short window. You don't have that long window, so your plants aren't going to grow big. I mean, my plants right now, I've got some clones that are going to be 7-pound clones. They're monster. They're huge. So, and that's the Rolls Choice. I'm so excited about that. They're 200-gallon smart pots, and they're going to be about 7-pound plants. Wow. Yeah, I'm excited. So, yeah, amazing. So that's one little hash story for me.
Yeah, dude, very cool.
Yeah.
So it gears into my this is the question I'm asking everybody right now, and one of the reasons I actually thought, like, hey, let's do a podcast if you're down, because so the way things developed, like I said, I feel like all these other countries, they're making hash because they're growing, they have an excess amount, they want something to do with all the plants. We're over here, they're growing, they're kind of hiding it, burning the trim is what I was told for a while, stuff like that. So it's like, we needed to understand how they were processing and utilizing their plants fully. So the hash culture begins to develop here, but we have better cleaner product, bigger trees, all of this, right? So then now we have this new thing, the fresh frozen. So can you tell us, I guess, like how things changed and what you saw as like the development of, like, I guess, as the industry came in, people started growing more, and what happened to hash, and then the development into fresh frozen, where now people are like, duh, hash is the answer. Yeah. Sorry, that's a very complicated.
No. So hash along 90s was huge. They loved hash. So if you were the guy that had hash, people wanted it. It was huge. And then Prop 215 came along, and everybody wanted to grow cannabis. Hash got pushed aside. Everybody was all about growing weed because it was becoming legal or okay to grow in your county. And then everybody was flaunting it and putting it out. It was growing. Everybody was just concentrating on growing. And dispensaries started to pop up. Dispensaries, I was then going in and showing my straight bubble hash, not fresh frozen, but just bubble hash, bricks of it to the dispensaries, and they're like, "Oh, we'll pay you $7 a gram." I'm like, what, $7 a gram? No, sorry. This shit's $30 a gram wholesale. You know, we can't do that. We can make our own thing. Okay, so hash lost its respect. I thought it went downhill. People didn't like it. People didn't want it. People liked it, but they didn't want to spend the money on it. So certain dispensaries, and some of them had very minimal amounts of actual bubble hash. And then, as the cannabis industry was growing for people wanting to grow more, people started to figure out making BHO. People were making the BHO out of PVC pipes and blowing BHO cannabis through that. And then went to stainless steel, then went to glass, back to stainless steel, and all the dispensaries wanted BHO, and they were all carrying BHO. And then hash started coming back. Hash started being pushed out there. People were being more educated about hash, how much morning hash solventless is better, it's cleaner. And it took a while. It took a lot of educating people and pushing it. Me personally, not just saying me, but a lot of other people, me actually going out and teaching people how to make rosin. And so all these people were super amazed by seeing it when I was doing classes or doing demos. And so seeing it evolve into fresh frozen, that just, somebody did an experiment, somebody figured that out, somebody made that, and it became a thing. It became the new thing. It was clean. It had the terpene profile. I mean, obviously it took a while people to tweak it around and figure out the right way to make that fresh frozen the proper way to where it is now. So it's hash has had its ups and downs for sure. I feel it's lost a lot of respect, but it's gaining that respect back, and people are realizing that it's the cleanest method of your cannabis is by stripping all those trichomes out without having to smoke the plant material, without having to smoke anything else that's maybe on that plant, any bug poop, any dust, any pesticide residues that might be left beside it if you're using pesticide in the room. So hash has came a long way. It's gone, from just straight bubble hash to the fresh frozen now. And the fresh frozen has that taste. It has dabbing became a thing, right, with BHO. And so then once rosin came out, or hash rosin came out, being able to dab it and not leaving any residuals on your banger, on your bong, or anything like that, people liked it. It became the new fad. Everybody wanted it. Everybody got that high. It was just that sky high type of feeling, and people just became more educated versus BHO or CO2 made products versus ice water hash making or fresh frozen, and realize that it's better, it's cleaner, it's better tasting. It's like growing a non-organic watermelon and an organic watermelon side by side and cutting them open on the same day and eating them, and they're both right. Which one's gonna taste better? It's like the same with hash. What's gonna taste better? That BHO dab or that pure ice water hash, fresh frozen that was extracted, that's clean as heck, with no contaminants on it, no gas ran through it to extract it, and it's all about the flavor, the high. If it didn't get you high as it did, it wouldn't be a thing right now. People wouldn't want it. Fresh frozen wouldn't be a thing.
Totally.
It'd be like it would, but it'd be like in the category where like flower rosin's going now. Flower rosin's got a lot of hate on it. People be and because of all kinds of reasons. So it would, if it didn't get you high like that, then maybe it'd be in that category. It would be pushed down. It wouldn't be a want for it. There wouldn't be, so yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I guess with the fresh frozen, it's like, so my specific question and what I'm aiming towards understanding or developing sometime, because currently there's basically no product on the market that is fresh frozen hash that's pressed like a temple ball, because as far as I'm concerned, either most people will wash fresh frozen, it's so beautiful, you can just sell it as is with a powder form, or they make it into rosin. Obviously it's going to make amazing rosin. So from learning from Frenchie and from Bird and stuff like that, it's like the unpressed hash has more surface area, so it's oxygen will break it down. So it's not the best. Like if you sell it to somebody, it's going to melt obviously in the jar if they have it outside their fridge or something like that. Right. So it's not shelf stable for the average consumer and stuff like that. So the thing that I'm trying to figure out, because Frenchie's big teaching and something he constantly says is like in all the producing countries they would never sell or smoke unpressed hash because they would say, oh, that would make great hashish. And then there's this study, 2014, they did this study showing that hashish actually has all these compounds, like 250 compounds that are not in the dried flower or the unpressed hash. But once you press it, it activates and it really digests itself and all that shit. Like it is a different thing. Right. So he basically says you're not doing the respect to the honor to the plant if you're not, getting this whole press process and decarboxylating and all that stuff. So what's been like keeping me up at night and stuff in my HashNerd thing, is like this process, this thought that like the fresh frozen is so much more fragile. It's so much, the trichome is so much more sensitive. It's just, it'll pop if you touch it, And basically I'm thinking that maybe less heat to make it into a temple ball and to get that same digestion effect, and where that, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Right. Well, I mean, I've with some of the fresh frozen, I've tried making a temple ball with them, and just playing with my hand and rolling on the hand and making it into a ball and flattening it out, not using heat source to roll it out and flatten it, just the heat from my palm.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't want to say it's not stable, but the texture of it just wants to melt. It doesn't want to stay in that temple ball type of a form. It's so gooey and like you said, the unpressed hash that then turns into a temple ball. It has so much more in it. That heat changes it a lot. I don't know how to answer that all the way, man.
Right. Well, that's why I just wanted to plant the seed of thought in your head, because this is the next thing. Yeah. This is how, we accelerate our the Solventless community, and we are able to bring to the consumer like a product that's even better than, and doesn't need to be in the fridge and $100. It's like, you can carry it out and whatever. And, and also just to me as the nerd, I want the fully activated thing in still hash form, because I love rosin and I love hash so much. They complement each other. They go together like, you know.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a tough one, man. I don't know how to answer that fully.
No, that's awesome. I'm happy at least.
Actually, I want to look some of those up and some of those studies and read them.
Yeah.
And gain some more knowledge on it, because I don't have enough of that knowledge or knowing the right answer to give, because I don't want to give an answer that's incorrect.
Cool. No, well, that's awesome.
And then get bashed for it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So. It's
well, I've been asking everybody. That's kind of my thing that I'm thinking about right now, because I feel like there will be a product soon on shelves where people are like, we want the press version or whatever. That clear. It immediately turns into that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, who knows what's going to be that next thing? Like what rosin was that next thing that came out. Then it was hash rosin, or fresh frozen that came out, and so what will be the next form of dabs, or whether it even be a dab? How is it going to be smoked or inhaled or taken? What will its form be? I don't know. I don't know how it'll be processed. I don't know what the difference will be. I mean, there's all different ways of processing cannabis and changing its form and its benefits that it has, and that you may lose by doing different processes. So I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm not a scientist. I don't have that kind of studying behind me to know that. I was taught how to make hash, and I was fascinated by it, and I've learned a lot about it and the different ways that people have made it. But I haven't actually put a ton of thought into some of the scientific benefits behind it, or the different textures, or the different values that it may or may not have in its different forms. So that's a lot I'm gonna start thinking about, trying to figure out. Like I'm almost thoughtless right now because I'm trying to think about it. So
right, no, that's where I'm at. That's
like,
why it's something that's been, I just get stoned and think of stuff, and that's one of the things I've been thinking about a lot. So.
Yeah, I might have another better answer for you next round or something.
Can't wait, man. That's awesome.
I need to think about that more. It's a tough one. It's not easy to answer, and I don't want to put an answer out there that's completely wrong, or that's going to completely upset some sort of hash makers or something that is wrong, because I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's really opinion or something.
It is. It's opinion, and one opinion might lead to another that might be right, or that one opinion might lead to a whole shitload of shit talking against you and people hating on you. So it's tough to answer that. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that all the way fully.
Oh, for sure. No worries. No worries. So then, with the rosin, like, I love that you offered both consistencies. What do you say about the consistencies on those?
Well, I mean, I like them both. I mean, like, with what Bird taught me with his bird tech or jar teching, I feel like when you're doing that, you're bringing a lot of the terpenes out. It's pulling them out for you, and it's allowing it. It's like it pulled it from the center out, and it's keeping it on the whole outer shell of that product, right? Of that rosin. So it obviously changes your color of it. It's going to make it lighter. It's going to make the texture a little bit different, more of a kind of like fluffy type of a rosin versus more real oily. So taffy tech or jar tech or bird tech, I think they're phenomenal. But I also love its original form, when it's just pressed, gathered, and then crammed out. Not stretched, no heat introduced to it, just crammed, put in its jar, and it's natural form, what its resin looks like. So I feel when you definitely change this process, you bring more of those terpenes out. It's that rosin, when it's being jar tech or bird tech in there, it has no oxygen moving around, so it's just kind of churning in there. All those terpenes are just moving around and just stays in there. It's like it's locked in there. So that's with all these are cold cured. As soon as they're made, they are either taffy tech or bird tech or jar tech, or left in its natural form and then put it in the freezer right away.
Okay, I was wondering. I should probably put them in the freezer.
So I put them right in the freezers right away. Putting them in a refrigerator holds well, but the refrigerator fluctuates so much with air. So your refrigerator is not always going to stay exactly at 32 degrees or 35 degrees or whatever temperature you set it at. They fluctuate. They're meant to do that. So putting them in a freezer right away, right when you've made your rosin or even your fresh frozen hash, it starts the process right away and locking in all those terpenes into that product instead of allowing them to evaporate or slowly dissipate. So cold cure, it's all about cold cure and storing your rosin in freezers. A long time ago, I definitely used to saying a lot that you can store in your refrigerators and it'll last you a long time, almost up to a year. And there was a lot of stuff that I was storing in refrigerators that were lasting, a solid year, that were in smelly proof bags that were not breathable at all. They were sealed basically, and my product, I could pull some stuff out there a year later. It was flower rosin, had no color change, had the same terpene profile, maybe had a little bit of light color change, but was still there. It was phenomenal.
That's awesome.
to just any non-connoisseur person, they would know no difference. You know what I mean? So, definitely if you want to keep your product with its full terpene value or profile, store it in a freezer. Keep it in the freezer the whole time. The more heat that you introduce to it, you know, the terpenes are going to slowly dissipate. Your texture is going to change. You know, if you had a nice, clear, yellowish color rosin that had some clarity to it, and you had it out in the heat, left it in your car, you had it in your pocket all day, it's most likely you're going to butter up, turn white color, which is great, and you're going to have a really good terpene profile off it. It's phenomenal. It's like baking, you know? Like, you're just smelling the muffins cooking, and it's phenomenal. So, I'm not picky on my textures. I know that there's a lot of clients and people or customers that want a texture this way or that way or like that. I'm not about that. I make what I make, and people like it. They love it. Like, I don't get complaints on it. I don't get people saying, hey, can you make your rosin this way for me? Or, hey, can you do that for this way? Never. I've never had requests. No complaints. Like, they like how I've done it. I don't have, I don't want to say I don't have haters, but I really don't.
It speaks for itself.
You know, it speaks for itself, exactly. So,
fuck yeah.
And I'm not trying to sound cocky in any way, bro, or arrogant about my product.
No, and I was going to say, literally, I've never seen something that, like, it seems like you put extra time into making it sure that it's, like, a presentable and shelf stable or something, because the way that it stretches, it just is a golden bow.
Yeah, it's all about presentation. It's all about presentation. You know, I was at Emerald Cup, and I won't mention the company's name, but a really respected brand. And I bought a gram of hash. This was fresh frozen. And I'm standing in his booth, and I buy the hash, and I walk around like a couple steps over, and I open it, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, look at that fucking hair.
No way.
Big old fucking black hair in there, bro.
No way.
And I close it back up, and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm like, I just bought this. I'm like, I don't have black hair. I'm like, check this out. And it was like in the hash. It wasn't on top of it. It was in the hash. And he's like, he turns around and stares at this guy that's working for him. And he gave him the most meanest, dirtiest look in the world. And then he's like, he turns around, grabs another one. He's like, man, I'm so sorry about that. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm a hash maker too. And I said, that would have just pissed me the fuck off too.
Yeah, totally.
And he's like, and I'm like, you're at Emerald Cup, bro. I'm all, you're lucky that this wasn't some asshole that just bought this from you and blasted you from this. I'm like, I'm not gonna tell anybody, bro. Man, I'm gonna tell this story, but I'm not gonna tell them your name or brand. You know. Now, it was a big company, big brand, and I spoke to the owner personally about it. And he was furious, not with me. He looked right at the employee that he knew where that hair came from. So,
man.
He was not happy. I did not put him down. I will not say that that's never happened to me. I've had a cannabis leaf fall into one of my rosin grams before. Thank God it was one of my friends that got it. And
wow.
He texted me back and told me about it. And I had to jump on my guys, and I had to, make sure quality control was being done. You can't have hairs. You can't have pieces of paper. You can't have any kind of contaminant in there. You have to be 100% clean. You gotta clean. You gotta clean your workspace every time you're done. Anytime you do a new project, you gotta clean, regardless. No cross contamination at all. It's not. You can't have it in your brand. You can't let your reputation go down because of something stupid that you didn't control. You can't.
Absolutely.
It happened to me one time, and my homie told me, and I was fucking embarrassed. I felt hella bad.
Well, dude,
I replaced him. I hooked him up more, but it was still that feeling of when your friend calls you. At least it's a friend. But getting them, someone telling you, like, hey, bro, look at this hair in your fucking big old cannabis leaf inside there. Like, how did that fucking happen? How did that pass through 3 sets of eyes? You know?
Yeah, totally.
So, presentation is a huge thing. I mean, when I first started with my rosin, I was just using smelly proof bags, I didn't have actual packaging. I just had smelly proof black bags, and I was using my stickers and I was putting them on there, and then I was putting, you know, one of the tags on there for what strain it was. And I was presenting that to all the dispensaries. The dispensaries at that time loved it. Never had any complaints about it. The only complaint I ever had about my packaging back then is people wanted my product in half grams, not 1 grams. And I was against it because I had to do double packaging.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Or more, but it made sense because I'll move more volume. And it makes up for itself. So I started doing everything in half grams. And then I was doing well. So I came out with those boxes that you have over there. Started moving all the packaging to all the dispensaries that way, and they loved that packaging. You can get them in stacks. You can stack them up, send them up sideways and stuff. Yeah. So now this is a little different. These are new for me with these new packaging, and again, it's all about presentation, and it's all about the graphic designer that you're going to work with and the packaging company you're going to work with. Whether they're going to do what they say they can do and actually put that effort into making your brand look the way you want it, and not just saying, oh, here, I'm gonna make you some packages, it's gonna cost you 10 grand, you know. So that's why I like working with Mendocino Group with Brandon. He's one of us. He's you know, born in this culture as well, and he knows what we're looking for. He's not out there to take every penny from us just to make a buck off of something and just do a half-assed job. He's out there to really do and help you out and get your brand presented. So that's why I've just continued working with Brandon since 2015, right at the end of 2015 until today. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah, all I hear is good stuff about him, and I see all his work is amazing. So that's awesome. I can't wait to get it all together to where I feel like.
It's been such an honor, like just having, you know, all the different people speak highly about me and my brand and what I've done for these people. And I didn't feel like I did anything, you know, except for telling people my experiences. And it's an honor to have all these people and people that I don't even know come up to me and tell me stuff like that. It's amazing. Like when I was in Seattle one time, dude, I was in this big old convention. And someone just yelled, Pez-Bro, what's up? And I'm like, turn around, I'm like, who the hell is that, dude? How the fuck they just know about Pez-Bro, dude? Like, holy shit. This is crazy. They just saw me from the back, dude. I had my hoodie on. Like, I wasn't wearing a Pez-Bro hoodie. Like, wow. It was a trip, dude. So, you know, with my journey with Pez-Bro, the amount of famous people I've met has been amazing. All kinds of artists, and it's been so cool. It's been so fun. It's been awesome.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah,
very
cool.
inspiring.
Yeah,
cool, dude.
You know, a lot of artists, they like smoking.
Oh yeah,
they like blazing. You know, so my brand was out in West Hollywood for a good year almost. It's 7 or 9 dispensaries in West Hollywood. It was amazing.
That is awesome, man. Fuck yeah.
West Hollywood, the rich of the rich were in there. Actors, singers, artists were in there buying. Like, amazing, dude.
Wow.
Like, I was getting pictures of people that were wearing my hat pins that had photo shoots with rappers and shit. I'm like, holy shit, that dude's wearing my hat pin.
Wow.
Like, yeah, super cool.
That's crazy.
Super cool, man. So, yeah, I'm not like trying to brag about myself. It's just been so fun, dude. It's been such a trip. I never thought anything like that. I would do something like that in my lifetime with cannabis, even. You know, that I would pursue a career type or a passion in cannabis and being able to do what we're doing in this world today.
Absolutely.
You can't do this shit in like Germany or something, dude. You get fucking shot or put in prison for the rest of your life. I mean, it was like that back in the days too. Here, back in, you know, early 90s, mid 90s. But it wasn't the penalty wasn't as bad. You'll get arrested. You may go to jail for a while, but other countries you'd probably get shot or killed by the government for growing cannabis.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not so much nowadays, but maybe there are still some places like that. But never thought I would be in this type of position to where I'm, doing something I love with cannabis, and I'm doing a podcast with people like you, other people in magazines, doing meetings all over the place, meeting famous people, introducing my product to famous people, and never thought that. Yeah, one of my real good friends told me, he's like, dude, it's like, you're the most famous person I know out of our whole school, bro. Like, nobody is doing anything like what you're doing, and by the way you've branded yourself, the way you've put yourself out there. I'm like, I wasn't that popular kid in school at all. So it's a trip seeing that, feeling that. Never had that kind of attention before, so it's a trip. It's really cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, super cool.
Fuck yeah. I feel like Hash is a vortex that's open. It's been waiting for people with passion to plug themselves in,
Absolutely.
and then to also have the work ethic and the concern for humanity and for the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
So fuck yeah, man.
It's a trip.
Fuck
fun.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I'm not gonna stop. I don't care what the laws are. I don't care if I get arrested today or tomorrow. Still do it, man.
No, absolutely.
Never stop. Who's gonna stop me? How can you stop me? Fuck that.
Absolutely.
I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm doing it for a reason. So.
Fuck yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They weren't stopping it when it was legal. So.
Exactly. They weren't stopping. Exactly. They weren't stopping it when it was illegal. They were trying to, but they lost that war. So. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Absolutely.
a trip. It's crazy.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
It's a weird industry to be in, and it's crazy too. Is like we were talking about earlier. California. I don't even want to say all of California. I want to say Northern California is on the front lines of new innovations, of new things coming out with cannabis, with growing organically, with producing pure, clean medicine, not using heavy salts, not using synthetics, not using nasty pesticides. We're conscious of what we're growing and how we're growing, and we are that first footstep of teaching and having people follow behind us.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to say about all California, because it's not like that in all California. You got Southern California that has a completely different mindset on cannabis, how it's grown, whether it's organic or not. A lot of people give two shits at all. And I'm not putting SoCal down in any way at all.
No, totally.
Not at all. I'm just saying, you can even go to Nevada, or you can go to Oregon, or you can go to Colorado, and the whole mindset on growing is completely different.
It is.
Acreage growing, like indoor growing, light depth growing, organics, dry fertilizers, pesticides, the variables are endless. So I feel Northern California is like we were talking about earlier. We're on the front lines of it. We're the ones innovating. We're the ones teaching. We're the ones finding out about it before these other people in other states or other countries that are, and I feel honored to be. We're the ones creating history.
Yeah, no,
in the
absolutely.
cannabis industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something for the first time so much bigger than myself, but that needed and wanted my small voice to be a participant in it. And I'm just I don't know how I would say it, but yeah, it's been an honor and a pleasure the whole time.
That's my biggest trip on it is we're creating the history. Who knows, 100 years, 200 years now, your name might be in a fucking book about podcasts that introduced all these cannabis growers or concentrate makers or that educated people like that nobody else is doing. You know what I mean? You just don't know. Or Pez-Bro was the biggest brand back in the days that started out in the garage, and that you got that story behind it. You know what I mean? You don't know. Who knows? What if we don't know yet? We won't be alive probably. And so that's why I would say we're on the front lines of this. We're the ones innovating a lot of this. I mean, we're the ones doing it. We're the ones that went through hell, being raided by camp, by the law, people's houses being taken, people's families being torn apart for growing a plant. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I know there was people out there that are doing it for the wrong reasons. That's in every state. There's people doing it for the wrong reasons, and I don't wish those people luck growing cannabis at all. But everybody else, dude, happy growing, dude. I wish you the best of luck.
It's a bright horizon.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, It's a trip. It's
Definitely.
fun. It's hella fun.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Cool. I mean, thank you for spending so much time with us, dude. I feel like this has been such an informative, amazing episode.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been super fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope we can do some more in the future.
Definitely.
Hoping to definitely do some sort of a issue or something with you in Weed World
Yes,
again.
no, totally. Yeah, I have the stuff to do it now, so fuck yeah, I'll take pictures.
Oh yeah, if you need anything else more in the future, let me know. I do pass down here a lot.
Cool, man.
And I just don't advertise that I come down here.
Okay, cool.
We know each other now.
Very cool. Yeah, it's been very awesome, man. Very cool.
So, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, those, like I like to tell people, those who know. And that's all I have to say. Those
Fuck
who
yeah.
know now, dude. I don't need to spread anything else out. I don't need to put myself in harm. So.
Totally, man. No, I respect that. The hash speaks for itself. Those who want to seek it.
Yep, absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
Those who know how to get a hold of me, you know how to get a hold of me.
Fuck yeah.
So that's all. You know, I don't do risky shit. I don't send shit in the mail. That's fucking dumb. Federal offense, dude. Why do that? I mean, for real, dude. Are you that greedy? You gotta send shit in the mail just to get your product there? That person, you know that person over there in Tennessee that wants your product? No. You know that they're a cop? No. Fuck that noise, dude. Say me. Not me. I don't like doing that shit. Like I say, those who know now.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Good times, good Sunday.
Very good times.
I'm Irie. And we've tried all of them, huh?
Oh, yes.
All four?
Yeah, dude, they're all awesome.
Fucking
yeah.
awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my girls at home, you know, they're almost in full bloom. Plants are looking good. I'll have to take some pictures and send them to you.
Awesome, dude. Fuck yeah.
Like, yeah, in the future, too, if there's any kind of pictures that you want from me, or like I can always go through my folders and just send you stuff. You know?
Sweet, yeah,
I've
dude,
got
yes.
content from so many people. I can even share one of my folders with you on my drive. You know,
Cool.
have all kinds of Rosin pictures, videos, and
Sweet,
things
dude,
like
yeah.
that. You know?
Yeah, let's do that. That's even easier then. Fuck
I'm
yeah.
always about sharing, bro. I'm not. I mean, yeah, if I gotta teach a hash class or I gotta teach a demo, then yeah, I need to be compensated for my time. But for information and stuff like this, bro, I'm all about it. I want to teach people. I want people to learn.
Fuck
If
yeah.
I actually have to, teach and do a full class and actually fill bags, press bags, scrape, and do a full teaching lesson for you, then yeah, I need to be compensated for my time. And
Totally.
not all education is free. You take some hash training classes and they cost you $300 to $500 per head per day, or per 3 hours or per 5 hours, and so they get very pricey. And so not all education is free for hash making or rosin making, and that's because we went through the trial and errors of it. We took the time to learn it and figure it out and make it the way we do it. We didn't read a book and told us how to do it. We were the ones on the front lines doing it, learning our mistakes, fucking it up, losing money, and getting it down the right way, and just talking to friends, to other hash makers that were willing to talk to each other and teach each other and learn off each other, and then bringing it home to your own way. So
Developing the craft.
developing it, exactly. That's the word I was looking for. Exactly, developing the whole craft. So it's been fun. It's been a trip.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, thank you, because I feel like it's majorly contributed to this whole thing. Like Bird took it to the first place Emerald Cup. You won many trophies, right?
Yeah. I've got I've won 7 times. 7-time trophies.
Sick, dude.
I haven't won Emerald Cup, but it is what it is. I'm not against it. I'll still, if they still have Emerald Cup, I'll still enter, and
Fuck yeah.
I'll keep trying. It ain't gonna discourage me that I haven't won from them. The first time we entered at HemCon, we didn't win. Second time we went, we won first place. Next time we went, we won first place. Next time we won, we took a second place. Next time we went, we took a third place. Next time we won, we took a first place and connoisseur's choice. It's like, it's just, we felt good about going to the HempCons, and a lot of all the big guys where they are now, they all started at HempCon. They all did. A lot of them did. Some of them just got kicked out of there because they had bad attitudes or they got in fights and stuff. So, like, HempCon was a good show to go to. We did lots of high times. We did High Life, Chalice, you know, all the big ones. We did them all. We went to lots of them. We competed in some of them. Some of them we didn't compete in. You know, it was just, it's a lot of money to do these shows, to set up a booth. If you're going there to set up a booth, and some of these cups, you were not allowed to compete unless you had a booth there. Emerald Cup's not like that. You can compete without having a booth. So a lot of these shows, you had to have a booth there to be able to compete, and some of them were circuits. And so that's why I like HempCon, because it was like a circuit basically, and you were always competing every other month basically.
Oh wow!
And every time I brought different rosin. I didn't bring the same flavor. I brought in. Okay, so I took a second place on flower rosin once. Every single else, I took a second place with Mendo Dope for live rosin that I won there, and then all the rest of my trophies I won, even my Connoisseur Choice trophy I won, was all dry sift.
Oh wow!
All sift rosin.
Holy shit!
Every single one, except for those first two I just told. One, the Pineapple Preserves, was flower rosin, took second place, and the second place with Mendo Dope, I believe, was the Baby Jesus that we pressed live rosin for.
Wow!
It should have took first place. We looked at the first place winner. Our shit blew them out of water. How they beat us, we don't know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they knew them. I don't know. You don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah.
The test levels on ours were higher, so that's what I don't get. Who knows? Maybe a judge didn't like it or something. I don't know. But, yeah, 5 of my 7 trophies are sift rosin trophies, bro. Phenomenal sift rosin. All dry sift. And the best one that I took, Connoisseur Choice, was an 89.9 or 89.7% THC levels, and it was just as wide as that Rolls Choice whipped one, or wider. It was phenomenal.
What was the strain?
Strain was, I'm drawing a blank. Here, I'll tell you. I think I've got it written here on my notes.
Fuck yeah.
I think I've got like on my list of all my trophies in my notes here, because I had someone asking me. And, no, I didn't write it. The Connoisseur Choice Concentrate, but that was back in 2017 for HempCon 420.
No, it's okay, my bad.
Totally drawing a blank, dude. But like probably before the end of it, just like totally think of it and be like, oh, it was this. Silver OG. There it is.
Okay.
Silver OG.
Sick, dude.
Phenomenal.
Sweet.
Absolutely phenomenal. One of my really good friends in Mendocino County, that his stuff I've won was 5 awards with his product, all sift. It was all indoor ran. It was all sift that I created and took first place in it.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about the sift. That's a majestic
So sift rosin, there's not a lot about out there. Probably like 90, no, not 90. I would say about 75% of my rosin was all sift rosin that was being put out there in dispensaries. There was a lot of flower rosin out there, but a majority of it was all sift rosin. Almost, I would say about 75% of it. Sift rosin was phenomenal. It's easy to make. It's faster than making any other kind of rosin.
Wow, man.
And I figured out how to do it well.
That is really intriguing and amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have some phenomenal product. I'm gonna make some sift. So next time we see you, or I meet you, I'll bring some of that sift. I'll have to ask him what strain it was again. This was grown by another phenomenal grower who does not get his name out there enough. Doesn't want to get his name out there enough. Who's created a lot of these genetics that these big brands like the Rosin just brought me some phenomenal stuff. I'll have to text him and ask him what it is again. But he just brought me like 10 or 15 pounds of it that I'm gonna turn into sift, and it's gonna be really good.
Wow. So you said you never get requests, but can I request one thing? Because this is an opportunity. So, dude, I like dry sift is kind of like a legend beast that I've never actually even interacted with, basically. So I just like really I've wanted to try it in hash form. Do you think you could just save even a half gram unpressed?
Unpressed, just with sand?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like what you would do before you press it,
unpressed. That's just sand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll bring you both. I'll bring you some sand, and then I'll bring you some pressed form, and then I'll even press them by palm with my hand, the old school way, and have you some hash.
Oh,
so there'll be some, I'll put gloves on, obviously. Because you don't want to put a bunch of skin cells in there for you. I'll put gloves on, and I'll hand press a little chunk for you, and I'll bring that for you too. So you'll have 3 different forms of all that sift right there.
Wow, dude. See, that'll be my first time getting to really experience the power, because somebody, they worked at a farm that we went and visited to work with. I worked for Hella Dang, and so basically their son had won one of the things when he was like 17 or something like that, and they didn't know. He ran up with he received the award. It was a cool story, and he was just talking about how in his experience working with dry sift, he thinks that water might wash away some stuff. So obviously as a washer guy, I'm like, oh shit, you're telling me that there's a way to go slightly less refined? Of course, I'm like all ears perked,
Yeah. So sift hasn't gotten that hasn't been recognized like fresh frozen has been. You're not introducing water. With hash, making hash, yes, you are washing some contaminants away, or anything that may be sticking to your trichome heads, versus sift rosin, where really you don't have a way of getting any of that off of your sift heads if you have it. So your washing is always going to be your cleanest hash, because you've been washing any contaminants that may have been stuck to your heads of your trichome heads, So sift, who knows, maybe by the sift being pushed or forced through those screens, maybe it brushes off some of those contaminants. I don't know. I don't know the full study behind that, or haven't looked into it like that, but maybe going through the different micron screens, that head going through brushes off any contaminants off that it's been then pushed through to. I know there's a lot of people doing like static electricity style sifting, that creates the static and just picks up all the heads, which is crazy technique. So sift doesn't have the recognition yet.
No, that's just.
And when I was out there doing all these these contests, there wasn't any specification on what kind of rosin it was that was being entered. So nobody was asking me if I never specified dry sift rosin. I never did. I didn't push it. Now that I think about it, I'm stupid for not doing that, because it would have made a better reputation for it, because I won 5 trophies with sift rosin, Wow. And that stuff was phenomenal. Now, all those were tested too. They were all tested by labs, and if you failed, you were DQ'd, So test results and judges, obviously, the proof was in the pudding. So
wow.
Sift rosin is phenomenal. I love sift rosin. It's very simple to do. I can process, 80 pounds of trim and process it into sift and press it all in one day. With 2 other guys who are working with me.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Wow. Well, that's amazing still.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit,
High grade. As long as the product I'm working with is high grade.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, same with water.
That's the whole key to making hash, making rosin, making anything that has to do with cannabis, is your beginning material. And the grower, the ingredients they use, the fertilizers, if they're using pesticides, I can't stress that enough, that pesticides and fertilizers have a lot to do with how your product can turn out. Heavy salts, heavy metals, heavy pesticides that have half-lives that don't even come out of your product, and then you're smoking all these buds telling everybody this is the best shit ever, it's fire. Well, you used Avid, dude. I don't even think there's a half-life off on Avid. I mean, this shit's horrible. It's not meant to be used on cannabis. And then you got people black market selling that shit everywhere. I mean, I'm a connoisseur. I'm very picky on what I smoke and whose stuff I smoke and what I put into my body.
Totally.
You know,
Absolutely.
and you know, like even at work, we've got all these homies that hang out and they all want to smoke BHO, and I'm just like, I can't, dude. I'm good. I'm not gonna take it out. I just won't get high.
Yeah.
I'll wait till I get
Cheers,
home.
100%.
You know, let's wait till I get home. And there are times where like, oh shit, I didn't bring any rosin. I really want to get high, and homie's got some fire ass looking BHO. I'm like, all right, I'll take a dab. But then I take that dab, and I'm just like, it just reminds myself instantly why I don't smoke it. I'm like, why did I just take that hit? Yeah, I wanted to get high, but fuck, I should have just waited until I got home another couple hours, you know? And,
Totally.
you know, like, you know, I felt one of the biggest reasons why, like, all these BHO, okay, so I want to get something straight. A BHO maker is not a hash maker at all.
Yeah, I don't like the Colorado
They're-
reference of hash, where they use hash as like an open term for anything.
The
Yeah,
BHO maker is not a hash maker.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
more like a meth cook, if you want to think so. You know what I
Very
mean?
sad, but yeah.
They're in our counties. That's the way the sheriffs look at BHO makers. They look at them as meth cooks because they're doing the same thing basically. They can blow the fuck out of their houses. They can kill tons of people. They are not a hash maker. They are a cook. They're using chemicals. They're using gases. They are a cook, not a hash maker in any way whatsoever. And I will argue all day long with any BHO maker out there. Call me, hit me up, text me, message me, please. I'd love to argue. A hash maker has a talent. A hash maker has a skill. They have a craft. That is completely different than blowing CO2 or butane, butane or any other kind of gases that people are extracting with. I'm highly against it. So I've made my point loud and clear to even my close friends. You know, I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm like, I appreciate that you're trying to offer me this to get me high and to smoke with me, but I'm sorry. I'm like, I can't do it, bro. I'm like, I just can't. I'm sorry. Like, I don't like being like that or feeling like a dick about that, but I try to say it the nicest way I can. You know?
No, I hear you. I totally hear you. And I try and inform people too, just because it is really sad to me when I know that someone spent 6 months growing the plant and they put no chemicals into it, nothing, no adulteration at all, trying to keep it as clean as possible, and then just to spray it and cover it in petroleum industry shit or whatever it is. It just, to me, it's the only way that the petroleum industry will ever get their hands and their talons into this industry as well, or into our marketplace.
You know, like the other day I had someone trying to tell me that Grow More was all food grade and it wasn't petroleum based. Fuck you. He's such a liar. Like, Grow More is one of the worst. He's just lying to himself, man. And I get it when growers want to use Grow More because they have massive gardens and all they got to go do out there is sprinkle a little bit on their plant and water it in or let their drip irrigation do it. It's pure laziness.
Exactly.
And you're greedy. And you're growing for the wrong reasons. You're growing for a shitload of money, and that's all you care about. You don't care about the health of anybody else, of what they're ingesting in their bodies.
Also, inevitable failure from that.
Yeah.
It makes a bad name for farming and agriculture in general, and that's what it's meant to do. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off. No, that's fine. That's perfect. It's true. And you know, I've worked at hydroponic stores for many years, and types of customers you see coming in, you see all types of growers. You see them all from people who have shit tons of money to people who don't have any money and are on very low budgets, and or even the people that have tons of money that are super cheap and are buying the worst of the worst products that you can buy on the market to grow with. And then they're selling their shit, telling it that it's the best shit they've ever seen and smoked. Well, you're high, bro. You're high on bad shit because you're wrong.
Yeah, the thing I think of is just that, like, on the East Coast and stuff, even like cannabis is just so natural and beautiful and such a like complex reminder of nature that even in its adulterated form, people are like connecting back to nature. It's just so, it's like, to me, this whole thing is it's getting in the direction where the proper growing methods are becoming relevant.
Right.
Kids would never be interested in growing their own food, but they are interested in pot, which is it's the gateway to being interested in growing your own food, because you don't want the chemicals and you don't
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I agree with that. Yeah, I agree, because if you're young and you get introduced to, let's say, cannabis farm, you've never done any farming in your life, you've never grown any vegetables, and or let's maybe say you've watched Grandpa grow and they're using some chemicals they're using growing their veggies, but you've never done it. And then later in life, you grow up and you're young still, and you get introduced to a farm, and that farmer teaches you the organic ways or clean ways of growing, then yes, that may inspire you to want to go start growing something else, growing veggies, growing your own food, and then growing them a clean way without using pesticides, without using synthetic foods, with any of that type of stuff. And a lot of that came to me, and I learned more of that when I was working at the natural food store.
Yo, hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, yo, come in. So this is Pez-Bro. This is Starshine.
Hey, how's it going?
Fuck yeah, dude. No, yeah, you should hang around. You should smoke it. You should definitely take a dab. He actually he brought a kit.
I'm really late.
Oh,
I just did 4 hours of work in the garden.
Oh,
And,
Jesus.
I gotta kind of bounce for a minute.
He brought a kit for you because he's seen you in the pictures. And
Shit.
yes, sir.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
fuck yeah.
Nice to meet you, bro. Absolutely.
Oh shit, I'll sit down for a few here.
Cool. Yeah, here, take my spot.
Do the dance.
Fuck yeah. So yeah. These four, you gotta try.
That's a cool sticker.
Guess what? He's got lion's claw, fucking rosin from the autoflower.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking dang. So
It should be this one, I think.
yeah.
Yep,
we
that one.
literally just
Is
started
it
that. We're
from
literally from
Sunroots, or did you get it
No, it's
from a different farm?
from
No, it's
Art Rock.
from Heart Rock.
Oh, Heart Rock.
From,
Yeah, it's their genetics. Yeah. So
Cool.
Sunroots, they bought it also.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just
they're in
smoked an
Mendocino.
autoflower of it from Sunroots. Like,
Oh, gotcha.
Thursday or something.
Yeah, I didn't actually get to try the flower, but my buddy, it's
Okay.
made to look like wood.
Yeah, I see that.
It's just plastic.
But still, it's classic.
It looks good, and the only thing I'm missing on my package is the sticker that goes on top of the jar that I'm waiting on. That my
Cover up
brother-
this cool wood.
Yeah.
It's
I
gonna
know
be
it,
translucent sticker, maybe.
will, but who knows? Maybe I'll just stick the stickers in the box and people can have that round, because it's gonna be that
Yeah,
same
that's cool.
sticker.
Then they can put it
So
wherever
they can put it wherever they want.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. So it
Yeah,
doesn't cover up
toolboxes and
that
refrigerators
wood.
love stickers.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
So,
cool, man.
yeah, dude, help yourself,
Okay,
sir.
well,
But,
Can I give you a glass of water? I think?
I'm okay right now. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Flavor is this that?
That's the
Lion's
Lion's
Okay.
Claw, yeah. That's his, I believe his actual seed company is called Ital. What's it? Ital Seeds or something like that. He goes by another name. That actually the guy that makes that. Not sure. I'm gonna take a look right now.
Yeah, it's been doing that though recently.
The ceramic piece that protects the piezo part is like covering the entire.
Good times. I dropped it and it fell forward, so that's probably why.
Dude, you know what I've had happen to those torches at my house? I have them sitting on my bench, and an earwig. They love going into the center of it, and then I light it, and my torch is just like sputtering. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I light it again, and it's sputtering, and then I turn around, and I'll tap it, and then an earwig comes out and starts crawling around. I'm like, how the hell did that thing just survive that, dude? It just went through the torch twice.
They are resilient little assholes. They eat all my strawberries before I get to them, so yeah, I have a super hate relationship with them. No love, just hate.
He also goes by Pride of the Lion Seeds. That's his other company. That's his other brand besides Heart Rock Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where he does a lot of his showing off a lot of his autoflower.
Pride of the Lion.
Yeah, Pride of the Lion Seeds. He's the same as Heart Rock. He just has 2 accounts. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Like
Clean and clear and under control.
Like I was telling Frank that Bird kept telling me that he kept asking for some of my rosin and been wanting to get some, and I just never had the right opportunity to actually give Bird something I felt was good enough for me to want to pass on to somebody that might be reviewing my product, because there's times where I do process some stuff for some people and it's not the best. I mean, it's good, but the color isn't there, and people are all about color on rosin or concentrates, I should say, and I don't put those ones out. They won't go in my package. They'll just stay in pucks, and then if people want some of it, I'll break off chunks and it's cheap,
Well, that's cool. That's
yeah. So, but it just doesn't go on my package or my brands because I don't want people to take pictures of it and then post it on social media and then me get tagged in it and have some dark product on there that I was not wanting.
Yeah, not everything squishes the same. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Even sometimes like the same strain from the same farm, the next time they did it,
absolutely.
Maybe the 545 is crap.
Yeah, I've processed the Silver OG for many different farmers. The return is completely different from all three farmers that I've dealt with, and the colors were all different. It depends on your year, how mature you let your plant go to, and how dry it is. When you're processing different ways, when you're not doing fresh rosin. Doing fresh rosin, it's the same basically, unless your maturity level. That's just the only difference. So some people harvest their fresh rosin before it's mature. Some people wait till it's mature. Some people let it go over mature, and that's going to determine a lot of the way your color of your hash or your rosin is going to come out.
Okay.
Because if your plants are fully ripened, fully matured, then your trichomes are going to be more amber colored, not as clear or white, and so then your hash or your rosin will then be that darker color, because you can't change those amber trichomes to a clear color. I mean, you can maybe do some jar teching or something and hope that it's going to lighten it up some, but no guarantees exactly. Sometimes it might even darken them up more and then turn it into a soupy style of rosin that's really soupy,
Yeah, the thing that is always difficult to remember is the plant's not fully done maturing when you cut it. So yeah,
Right, exactly.
in the jar, in the time it takes to cure it, in the whatever process, you're gonna have more maturity than you had when you first harvested. So
Absolutely.
That's why it's definitely
Yeah, that's what the whole part of the curing process is doing. When some people take 2 weeks just to cure their weed, they're doing it properly. That's the way I cure mine.
like a
But
1 month cure.
Yeah, I'm doing it at least a 2-week cure. So, yeah. Oh, thank you.
Might be just a hair before this timer goes out.
That's all right.
Cool. So did Frank tell you about our collaboration with St. Ides? We're doing blunts for St. Ides, which is also owned by the same company as Pabst.
That's hilarious. I didn't even think to connect that.
They're connected with who now again?
Pabst.
Oh, with Pabst.
St. Ides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We just merged not too long ago.
That's cool. The Pabst Blue Ribbon Pez-Bro pin came out. One of my friends just kept saying PBR. I'm like, what, bro? PBR? I'm on Pabst Blue Ribbon? He's like, no, dude. Pez-Bro rosin.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm like, oh shit, dude. He's like, you gotta have that made. And I called Brandon up right away. Boom, done.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The masks are a little different. They're a little bit
I
different
like it.
to
It's
get
classy,
used
though.
to get used to on the tying on the back. But once you tie them, you can still pull them down, just let them hang from your neck. But it gets you gotta get used to them. A little bit different. And yeah, getting the string over your ear and then tying them around your neck, it's a little bit different than some of the ones that just Velcro or slip right on. But
Hopefully it fits nice on my nose, though.
they fit nice on the nose,
Yeah,
and my
very
glasses, my sunglasses sit on them.
Oh, sick.
And I don't fog up that well, or that much. So that's what I like too. My glasses aren't fogging up.
Yeah, that's a big pain.
Yeah.
Fit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is nice. Classy.
Just gotta.
It's a good fit. I like how it's, like I said, very contoured, no like baggy.
Yeah.
Extra cloth.
Yeah, a couple pins for you, man. And next time I was telling Frank, I'll bring some shirts and some hats for you guys. And I just didn't have time to stop and grab it all. It's all at my storage unit. Absolutely. Thank you for letting me be a part of this and having fun here. You know, enjoy it.
Really awesome. Really inspiring.
Awesome. Thank you.
Where do you reside out of?
I'm in Ukiah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Born and raised in Ukiah, and went out to school out in Potter Valley. A little tiny, like, I don't want to be stereotyping, but a small hick town, you know, a small country town, and
Pretty much all of Mendocino for the most part.
yeah.
Except for Ukiah.
Yeah, except for Ukiah. Yeah,
Willits.
exactly. And Willits, you know, but yeah, a little tiny town, and you know, we had no law out there in Potter Valley. We had 2 little stores, we had a bar, and that was it. A school and a post office. Pretty small, dude. My graduating class had 25 people in it, 26 people in it, maybe at the most. Super small. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea. That's crazy.
Super small, and
That's
so
the opportunity for the kids to get an
that-
actual one-on-one education.
that's what I was just gonna say. It's a better opportunity for those kids to be worked with especially with any type of kid that may have had some learning disabilities or issues learning. So
Yeah, 30 students to one teacher just doesn't play out well.
yeah. So
Nobody really gets into that situation accessible. They're really geared for it. And yeah, like you said, not everybody's got the brain for that. And sometimes people need a little bit
yeah.
more one-on-one time.
Yeah.
I know
so-
I myself, I don't really learn too well from listening to people do things. I'm more hands-on.
yeah, absolutely.
That's why I really enjoyed I went to technical high school. I graduated, 3 hours of my day was spent on my trades. The rest was split up between the usual academics and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, it was good. It's probably a little more practical considering most of the stuff they teach in school you end up not needing.
Yeah. Yep. All busy work.
Yeah. A lot of conform, you know, or will punish you work.
All right.
Want you to think in their box.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Getting the pictures in a big old camera. Look at that beast.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Camo camera, dude.
Yes, the hash cam.
yeah, he's ready to go
The hash
and
cam.
Yeah, bought it specifically for,
film some wildlife and stuff too.
Fuck yeah.
He's got that camo wrap.
That thing's sick.
Yeah, dude.
Very nice camera.
Get some good
Rosin.
bird spotting pictures with that thing. You know?
Yeah.
It's got the right zoom on the lens and everything for it.
Hash spotting.
Yes, spotting hash in its wild environment. On the plant.
Right, on the plant.
Yeah.
You ever do the grease doobies?
No.
Where you roll a joint and then your plant's got to be pretty close to harvest, but you roll the joint in there on a warm day, just on some of the lower buds, you know, and yeah, it literally greases up. It looks just like this.
Yeah,
it looks
yeah,
like
yeah.
This rosin
So-
color, you know.
I actually recently did that. I didn't do it. I was hanging out with Bird and a bunch of their buddies, and we were at Lewis's house, and Info, that guy, one of his goes by Info, grabs a paper, and Lewis has got all these buds and plants just going right there, and he's just over there rolling a joint. None of us are paying attention. We're all just taking dabs, and we're all talking in a circle, and he's over in the corner doing something, and he's talking, rolling a blunt, and he's rolling a joint. No blunt. And he's just rubbing that blunt wrap all over this freaking bud, just getting it super sticky, and nobody knew what he was doing until the end. He's like, hey man, I just rolled this shit all over this thing, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, holy shit, dude. And we started smoking that, and it was super tasty, super
It's
fresh.
live resin.
It's like live resin, exactly.
Yeah.
Super fresh.
And if
So-
if you do it enough, you know, coat it with enough of it, you can literally see the grease layer get thick.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
But,
he was there for a minute, dude. It was funny. We didn't know what he was doing.
yeah, it's gotta be warm.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, they'll just melt right on it, just like when you harvest in the heat. You know, resin gets all over your hands instead of stays on the plant.
Right. Yep. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's super cool. It was fun. It was tasty. It was the first time doing that. I still haven't done one since then. That was just a couple weeks ago. maybe a month ago.
Yeah, I had some when I was farming in Lake County one year. We had some some sour diesel light depths that we'd harvested, and then when the full terms were starting to get there, we start rolling those joints in there, man. Oh god,
Nice.
flavor,
Nice.
so hard to beat.
Heck yeah.
Sour diesel's one of my favorites.
Sour diesel is a good one.
Not my favorite to trim.
No. It's a shitty one to trim. If you got that one that's just super fluffy and so much leaf, it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
And
those
then-
ones that
and
are
then-
super fluffy tend to be more on the chemier side, and more like punch in the face terps.
Right.
So yeah, that was the ones that we had, and it's not really a problem. We didn't harvest all the stuff. It's just anything that wasn't a big bud, we just hashed it, and literally had 9 contractor bags full of hash material. So
Nice.
definitely not a bad problem to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, just had less actual bud. I show people the size of the garden. They're like, wow, you pull like 200 and 300 pounds out of there. I'm like, no, it's 111. But they're good. 111 good pounds.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and my favorite thing about the sour diesel though is that it doesn't. I didn't have any problem with herb or anything like that. I had to throw away maybe like a quarter ounce of herb.
That ain't shit.
It was mostly caterpillar.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why that sour diesel was able to go until freaking November.
Right? I was harvesting it on Halloween, and
Yeah.
no bud rot at all.
Yeah. Yep. Now, I've had people grow
Try that
sour
with a
diesel.
dense ass bud, and oof,
Yeah, some indica that's super freaking dense. It's
You
just
wish
gonna
you
be
pulled it in
rotten
September.
gone. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
yeah, I'm sorry to cut the session short. I have a appointment I'm supposed to go.
Oh,
to.
no worries, man.
Friend
You
of
made
two,
it in
so-
here. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, super cool to meet you.
Yeah, likewise, man, for sure. But I am gonna have to trouble you. I guess that's your red car. there?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to trouble you for a little exit strategy.
Okay.
You're in front of me, so
Okay.
I'll have to take a quick break from the session. Sorry to steal
Cool.
your
No,
guest.
no problem, man.
But I hope everybody out there's having a good weekend and all that stuff. Happy Sunday.
Awesome.
Sunday
Yeah.
fun day.
Sunday fun day. Turpy Sunday.
Yeah, man. Nice to meet you.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey, we did 3 hours too, so we don't have to continue.
Okay.
We can end it.
No, that was a good session, bro.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Cool.
Seshed up.
Sick,
Holy
man.
shit, 3 hours. It's 2 o'clock.
For real, yeah.
Holy
Like, for
shit.
real, it was just like having a conversation. I feel like I got to know you, bro. It was really fucking awesome, man.
No, we don't have to. No, we can call that good. I didn't realize we were that deep.
Yeah, we went deep, man.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Did you
that
get
was
as
fucking
deep
awesome.
as
That was
the
a
last
good-
interview last night? Because that seemed like
You know,
it got
that
pretty
one
deep.
was 6 hours, but literally, yeah, that was like with like another
I meant
guy.
the
And I read
depth
a
of the
book and shit.
content.
Yeah, that one.
I read a
was
book.
fucking crazy, but yeah, this one, man, this is the first like I felt really good about this episode of what I was calling HashNerd Hangout. This is like, thank you so much. This is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was thinking like literally the Grow Rogan podcast. Like this is like we had a legit hangout. Like it was really fucking
Grow
awesome,
Rogan.
man. Grow Rogan. So
Sweet, then
yeah.
I'll just roll on out then if that's cool.
yeah. Well, I'll
if
say
that
goodbye.
makes
I'm
it
just gonna
easy.
end
Yeah,
this.
it's just,
Yeah. Fuck yeah, yo. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm happy you guys got to really meet Pez-Bro. Fuck yeah. See y'all later.